Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor for a slightly later show today because we're getting ready for Jerome Powell, so it could be an extended morning, and we've got lots of news to cover with Robinhood, breaking news left, right, and centre, uncertainties in the market once again with tariffs, what's going to happen with the Fed, is Jerome Powell going to cut rates today? We've got a poll running in the chat. You can vote on this poll. Currently, it says, will we get a rate cut? Yes, 47%. 39% of you say no, and undecided 14%. Now, we're waiting for our feed where it's going to come from. At the moment, no one is covering it. It doesn't start for another 25 minutes. In 25 minutes, we shall see. But at the moment, we've got wars breaking out with Trump and Elon Musk. Of course, Elon's subsidies being taken away. The worst performer on the stock market today in the S&P is Tesla. I warned everybody of this. It's a big story at the moment. It's making headlines everywhere. It's bringing it's putting some uncertainty into the market. Most certainly, the S&P, you can see here what's going on. It's exactly what we said. People got really over enthusiastic with Tesla, and of course they don't like when I say things like that, but it is what it is, and it's gone down. So now those of you that are out can now buy a dip. If I was buying individual stocks, I would be looking at this. I wouldn't buy it here, however. I think it hasn't sold off anywhere near what it needs to sell off. In fact, it could go down as much as to $100. I know, again, that will be unpopular, but it's the facts and as they are.
Objectives
Let's have a listen to this.
Is kind of reversed. The Trump trade is now very difficult for Tesla. But again, you know, it's a little bit of the president said, Musk said. With the point of the big, beautiful bill you just went through with Tyler, Elon Musk has at least been consistent that he's welcomed scrapping incentives for direct consumer incentives for Tesla because he feels that Tesla's lower cost base makes it more competitive against other American car makers.
In terms of this fight, though, it does look like the super genius who started Tesla is being outsmarted by President Trump. He caved in and pulled back his Epstein, which had to be his Trump card, right? His Epstein accusations early, although his stock is still worth, $1 trillion.
Yeah, there were essentially three claims from the president this morning outside of the White House, right? The first was he was asked a question by a journalist, would you look at deporting Elon Musk? And the president answered in the affirmative. I would point out that Musk has spoken in interviews over about a 20-year period, but it was also in the 2023 biography by Walter Isaacson that Musk is a US citizen and claimed he took the oath of citizenship in 2002 in Los Angeles County. The president also said he would look at Doge and Doge turning back on Elon Musk and reviewing those federal contracts and subsidies we just discussed.
Okay, that's enough.
But the kind of core thing here is ideological.
But, we have got major concerns with Tesla now. It's because the trouble is it's all priced in, and cars are declining. No, you can't sell Teslas in Europe. No one wants them anymore after the involvement with Trump and also trying to affect European governments and far right extremism and people in Europe don't forgive as quickly as they do in America. And people said, no, we just don't want a Tesla anymore. I've always wanted a Tesla, and now I feel the same. I just think, no, I'll just forget it. So Tesla is a real concern, and because everything's priced in, the robotaxi just isn't going to deliver anywhere near the time that everyone's suggesting. It's just being sold, and there's nothing Elon Musk can do about it at this point. Now, we've got in 20 minutes potentially an emergency rate cut, which would drop the market. Sensei mentioned it this morning in his show, 10-20%. He's absolutely right. So as you know, I cleared all my margin. I've now got $213,000 in my buying power. So I made an all-time high $5,000 to where we are today, which is just coming up on the screen, 247, so nearly $250,000. I've started to buy back now. I'm just nibbling. I've just started to buy back the S&P using some margin. So I'm using at the moment $8,000 because I can pay that off very quickly. Before I had $250,000, so 8,000 is something I can just pay off instantly. So I'm not worried about that. So I've started to buy in because I am bullish. However, if we get a rate cut today, an emergency rate cut, the market's going down 10, 20%. So we've also got a carry trade. We've also got the uncertainty of the tariffs in just a few days' time. There are countries who don't have a deal. Trump could drop the market again, and we know he likes to buy back. We've seen him do this. There was some caught on camera that he didn't want caught on camera. Some situations whereby he was in the Oval Office on some private cameras, some cell phones, people recording, saying how much money they're making with Trump dropping the market. So we know that he likes to do this. So he could create another wave of chaos like Liberation Day. Now, the market is priced in saying we're not going to have a Liberation Day again. We've done it. We're happy, and there's no issue. So the market is extremely bullish and assumes everything's great. Well, I like to be bullish, but I also like to err on the air of caution as well. And when we reached an all-time high so quickly, which it was, I took profit. I sold, took profit, cleared all my margin. I'm not paying any tax because it's inside my capital gains allowance. And now I've got, I'm up all time. You may remember I was down 60 grand. I'm now up 9. And I've got money to buy a dip, which could come at any moment now. It may not. And if it doesn't, that's fine. I could start laddering in. But I haven't sold my own cash, bank, my own money that I invested, just margin, because margin you're paying 4%. You might be paying 5.75% if you've got a lower level, but I was paying 4% at the time because I'd refinanced. So I'm not jumping into to use margin now because my margin was used to amplify the gains on an oversold market, and I was right. You can see here. This says my tally: 32 trades, 32 wins, and we're waiting for the next. We're waiting for the next trade. So there we are. Now then, I'm waiting to see who in 15 minutes is going to cover Jerome Powell's speech. There's no. Here we go. Finally, we've got it now. I was really concerned nobody was covering it. So we have now got a feed. That's great. I want to hear if Jerome Powell is going to cut rates. So we've got the feed ready to go. It's going to go in 18 minutes. So we are spot on time. So we are running a poll right now. What do you think about it? I'd like to know your thoughts about it, whether you think we're going to get a rate cut. But I'm really excited now because we have a feed, so we can cover it live. So on this morning's show, let's go to comments and questions. Let's bring everybody into the show. We're going to be covering a big story on Robinhood. Now, that I will do this after. In fact, I wonder if I've got time. I've got time to cover this story before Jerome Powell speaks. So I'm going to do this now. Okay, let me get ready for this. I'm going to bring you the Robinhood news. Right, okay. So let me bring this on the screen. We'll do this. So we've got 15 minutes before Jerome Powell speaks, okay? So if you've just tuned in, we're going to cover it live. But I want to bring this to you first. All right. Okay. So I'm going to record this as its own video as well. So 8:14. 8:14. All right. Let's get ready. Let's do a little bit of this. Okay. All right. So you ready? Let's do Robinhood before we go into Jerome Powell. We have Jerome Powell live now. We got all the information lined up. It's going to be a huge day. If you've just tuned in, please tap the like button. If we can get 100 likes, in fact, we'll do it now. Let's get 100 likes. Or in fact, let's get 300 likes. That way we'll get suggested on YouTube and this will go out to more people and more people will know what's going on today. So let's do that now. If you've not tapped the like button, please do consider subscribing as well. That would be absolutely wonderful. So 1 minute. Let's do 1 minute. Then I'll go into the Robinhood news and then I'll bring you Jerome Powell live. You ready? So let's do it. Here we go. Which one should we use? We'll use this one here. All right. Okay, let's pump it up. Whoops-a-daisy, not that loud. We'll do it around about there, shall we? Okay, here we go. Let's get 300 likes in 1 minute. Are you ready? Let's go, 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 go. Let's show you on the screen how many people are watching. It's going to be a big event today, of course. Huge event, actually, if we get an emergency rate cut. Oh, my God. I don't even know where to go with that. Well, I do, and I'll be buying a dip of 10, 20%. So let's have a look. We've got 709 watching. We want 300 likes in 1 minute. We're starting out at 20. Let me refresh the screen. Let's have a look. 158. 158. Thank you very much indeed. 175. Wow, it's going up quick. It's going up really quick. Let's get 300 likes because we want to share this out to as many people as possible. That'd be great. We've got the news for Robinhood and then we've got the news for Jerome Powell live coming up as well. I will share some other updates as well. I know people want to know about ZEBIC today. ZEBIC event is happening in Cannes. I wanted to do it online and they decided, well, they wanted me to fly there. They were going to pay me to go. And I said I'd rather do it online and things didn't go quite as planned. And I then discovered more about the company and the way they want to do things, and it didn't align with my principles, so I decided it wasn't for me. And then I've had 24 hours of online abuse on X, and it's been very unpleasant from people that only want you to tell them something's great. When you say it's not, they accuse you of trying to drop the market so you can buy back, which of course I don't own it. I only own the S&P. They threaten me. They threaten violence and terrible, terrible stuff. And that's the very reason why I got out, because of the nature of the whole thing. I thought this is not for me. We are investors, serious investors. We don't do online abuse. We don't do online bullying. And I got that, and then the community delivered that, and it was just, it's been very unpleasant. Should I just leave it like that? So anyway, I wish everyone who bought the asset. I won't be supporting it. It's not for me. But very disappointed by the level of thousands of online messages, bullying and threatening and all the rest of it. All complete false information. I've answered every question. They don't even listen, but there it is. 266. We just need 34 more, and then I'll give you the news. We got Robinhood first, and then we've got the rate cut information. That's live with Jerome Powell. So let's see. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? 270, 270, 30 to go. We're nearly there. If you've just tuned in, thank you so much for being in this morning. This is absolutely wonderful to be here with such a friendly audience this morning. It's been a very unpleasant 24 hours, but sometimes I think, why tell people the truth? They just want you to rah-rah for them. I guess it's because I was so pro Zebic and very excited about it. And then when I found out more, I realized it wasn't for me. People just couldn't cope with the changing of heart, but no reason for the threats of violence and stuff. But there it is. It's been very unpleasant. Anyway, 288, just 12 to go. Just 12 to go, and then we'll get to the Robinhood news. There we go, 300 likes. Wow. Thank you so much for the support. That on a day after yesterday, that means the world to me. Thank you so much indeed. All right, that's absolutely incredible. What an amazing support. I mean, that's everybody. If you could only see, I mean, that is everybody that can support you is actually supporting you. That's incredible. So if you've just tuned in, we've got Jerome Powell live in 10 minutes. Are we going to get an emergency rate cut? We very well may. Don't know. But just before that, I've got 10 minutes to bring you the Robinhood news. This is the overall market. I sold at the top. I've gone from $5,000 to $250,000 now. I've only got $8,000 of margin. I had $250,000. I sold it all. I started to buy back now. I'm starting to nibble now. And when I say buy back, my cash is still employed. I'm fully deployed. I'm now just bringing back some margin to buy this dip. We could have a 10-20% crash. We've got tariff uncertainties, emergency rate cuts, plus we have the tariff uncertainty. So there's a lot going on, and you want to be able to take advantage. Now, Robinhood, let me bring you this news very, very quickly. We've got 10 minutes to bring it to you, so I'm going to bring it to you now. So here we go. It's 8:21. I will come to comments and questions. 8:21, Hood. Okay. Robinhood, breaking news here on Martyn Lucas Investor. I've got lots of information to share with you on this broadcast. I hope you're going to enjoy this. I think there are very exciting times ahead, exactly as we expected and predicted, and I think you're going to enjoy this. So sit back and buckle up. For the next 9 minutes before Jerome Powell goes live, we're going to cover that this morning. We've got some very exciting news. The markets preparing to explode for Robinhood. Why? What's going on? Why is the market up so much? Why is Robinhood up so much? Or is it all overblown and it's all going to crash? Well, we're going to look at the numbers now, and in a very, very brief news update, because we've got Jerome Powell round the corner, but we're paying close attention, and a lot of people are getting very, very excited in the city right now. So should we be excited? Is it a great time to be involved? It is. You may remember just a year ago when we were around about the $8-9, we were in this stock when I was trading individual stocks. I gave you the information that this was a $40 stock. Everybody hated it because of the GameStop crisis. Now everybody loves it. Reminds you of something else recently? Things can change very quickly in these markets, but Robinhood now is surging. We gave a prediction of $40. It went to $40. I reassessed it and told you it was $80. It went to $80. I'm now looking at it and I cannot give a number because I don't guess. When I give you my predictions, as you know, 32 trades, 32 wins, my predictions are accurate because they're based upon facts, not what I want the market to be. But Robinhood has huge potential. I can't measure what that is, and I'm not just going to make a number up and go 100 or 200 like people are doing. People love to get excited about things, but what is going on? Why is Robinhood up so much? Well, I'm going to explain it. I've got 7 minutes to do it because we're about to cover Jerome Powell live with a potentially a huge rate cut. It could happen. We just don't know. We're going to find out in a few minutes. But why is it up? Let me share with you our story this morning covered in the newsletter, our very own newsletter, which we bring out to you live every morning. We don't just use other people's news. We compile our own. and everything is fact-checked, everything is verifiable, and you can access our newsletter. There it is in the chat, and everybody else can get it when this video comes out. The links will be in the description. Essentially, Robinhood has been exploding. Now, before I read you from the newsletter from Sensei, I'm going to give you my basic analysis of what's going on. Robinhood is not just a brokerage. It's not just a credit card. It's not just a bank. It's now its own blockchain. It's doing things differently, and they are the first to do it, and we told everybody about this a long time ago. This is not new news, but it's new to some people. Essentially, the future of trading, investing will be done on the blockchain, so it can trade 24/7, immediately, more efficient, faster, and give you access to private equity, things like SpaceX. This is a massive game changer. Is it good for you, or is it good for Robinhood? Well, I'll tell you now, it's mainly good for Robinhood. It's good for Robinhood, so it's good for you to own the stock, right? Doesn't benefit you in other ways, but it's good if you own the stock. That's why everyone's piling in now to Robinhood. Should they? It's overbought, it's expensive, but let me tell you very quickly what's going to happen. We've got 5 minutes to go, by the way. If you've just tuned in for the Fed Jerome Powell speech, we'll be covering it live. We might get a rate cut. For those of you watching the video later, I'll put a link at the end so you don't miss that important announcement. You'll be able to trade private equities because you're now getting access to things like SpaceX, which you couldn't normally do unless you are a very high earning individual, or you've got access to institutions and so on and so forth. Well, Robinhood are that. So what they're doing, they're owning on your behalf, if you like, SpaceX or whatever, and then they can tokenize it using the blockchain, and then you can use their tokens to own pieces of SpaceX. You'll also be able to trade the whole stock market. They're just going to put it, rather than on the systems they use now with market makers, they're going to do it on a different way with the blockchain. However, is this good for you? Well, if you want to access private companies, it is. Most of us can't. I can't. Well, in fact, I could afford to, but I currently don't. I only own the S&P. But you now can access it. But is this good for you? Well, it's good for Robinhood, not necessarily good for you, because this is the key point. Before I bring Sensei's news item up, Sensei's done a full breakdown of this. I'm going to give you, in fact, I wonder if I've got time. I've got 4 minutes. I really haven't got much time. But essentially, the more you can trade, the more money that Robinhood will make. Every time you trade, they make money, which means if they make money, Robinhood make money, your stock goes up. Everybody wants a piece of Robinhood. It's not necessarily good for you as a trader, because you shouldn't just be trading because you can trading. Just because you can trade doesn't mean you should trade. That's what I'm trying to say. I've got 3 minutes. I'm going to read this piece out that Sensei's provided. So it's providing a lot more profit for Robinhood. Great for the stock, but now it's massively overbought. You should have bought it way below this point. But if you do buy it now, I still see plenty of upside. But be careful. It's now overbought. Robinhood market soared 13% on Monday, closing at 93.63 and touching an all-time high of 94.24 during the session. The surge pushed its market cap to 82.6 billion, as marked a 313% gain year over year. The rally followed Robinhood's To Catch a Token event in Cannes, where it launched a tokenized US stock and ETF trading for European users. EU users now have commission-free access to 200 plus tokenized US securities, including OpenAI and SpaceX, with 24/5 trading and dividend payouts. That will soon go 24/7 dividend payouts via the app. The platform is giving away a $5, or was that €5 in OpenAI and SpaceX tokens of new eligible EU users who sign up by July the 7th. Now, not everyone has access to that. I don't have access to that, and I have the EU account. I have the British account, so I don't have that. So I can tell you it's not on the app for me. I have a European, a British and American app, and it's not on there for me. Tokens are initially issued an Arbitrum blockchain with migration to Robinhood's proprietary layer 2 in the pipeline. The company also rolled out crypto perpetual futures with 3x leverage on EU customers and reintroduced crypto staking for Ethereum and Solana in the US. These moves reposition Robinhood now with 25.9 million funded accounts as a vanguard in blockchain-based finance, unlocking access to high-profile assets and extending trading beyond Wall Street's hours. If you've tuned in for Fed Jerome Powell, that's coming up in just 1 minute. Stay with me. Tokenized stocks and digital representations of real-world shares issued on the blockchain. Each token mirrors the price and value of an actual stock, allowing for fractional ownership, 24/5 trading, it will be 24/7 eventually, and seamless global access without relying on traditional exchanges. Robinhood launched them in Europe by bypass legacy financial infrastructure and give retail investors direct access to assets like OpenAI and SpaceX, which are typically restricted. Tokenization is important because it democratize finance, breaking down barriers to private markets, enhancing liquidity, and enabling continuous trading beyond market hours. Everybody loves it. It's great for Robinhood. It's great if you own Robinhood. Might not be great for you, but it's great if you own Robinhood, because remember, it encourages you to trade more often like you do with crypto, because it will be crypto. Above my head, down below in the description, right after here, it's Fed Jerome Powell's speech. He's going live in a few seconds. I'm now covering it live, and you will catch it later. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. All right, bloody hell. Back to here, back to here, back to here, back to here, back to here. And here we go. Flipping heck. Right, good. I haven't missed it. We're on time. Okay. Waiting. Whew, we got there in the end. Please tap the like button. We're going to go Jerome Powell and any second now. Are we going to get an emergency rate cut? I've got $200,000, 213, 214,000 ready to buy a dip. I'm ready to go. I'm bullish on the markets. I'm fully invested with all my cash, with all my bank, but I'm now looking to use margin again if we get a dramatic dip. We are going to get a drop this year. I said we've already had the rally now. So here we go. We're waiting for Jerome Powell to take the stage. Here we go. Okay, we're just watching. Here's the camera shot. This is Jerome Powell. What are we going to get? So if you've just tuned in, please tap the like button. It really will help. Share this out to more people. There's 1,400 people watching now. Please do share this out. And as I've got a moment, I will take this opportunity to give you a few links that you need. First of all, there's my Seeking Alpha and Alpha Spread free trials if you want those. There's the music show. Every Friday we have a music show. There's Instagram and X where I post everything first so you know all about it. If you want to be a member, all my CEO interviews are members only. There is a link to become a member. If you are on an iOS device, select a browser and desktop version. I interview CEOs all the time, as you know. Sometimes things don't go well, and I bring you the truth. I started to have a relationship with Zebic, learned more about them. There was a very threatening and untransparent environment, not going on camera, not being open about everything going on. I was unhappy about it, and because of that, I told the community, and I spent the last 24 hours with thousands of hate messages and threats of violence. It's a horrible, horrible situation. What's the lesson from there? Don't tell people the truth. Don't change your mind if you find out things aren't as good as they should be. I don't know. You tell me. But it's been very unpleasant. But there you go. I did what I did, and I'm, what can I say? I stand by what I said. But it's horrible. There you go. There's a link to become a member. Discord, I'm now giving free training. We don't charge you for training here. We give it you for free because we make money investing. We don't need to do that. In fact, we're not sponsored by anybody. We take no money from crypto projects. They all offer me money. I was offered money to fly to Cannes and be at the event. I wanted to save money and do it more efficiently from my studio to reach more people. They didn't want it to be online. They didn't want it to be public. And these are part of the issues I had, and I thought, I don't want to be part of this. So why don't you want it to be shown on camera? Why don't you want it to be public? I do everything publicly, and I can't understand why you wouldn't. So anyway, there is my Discord link. If you want the free training, what you do is click on that. You need to be a subscriber to Discord. It's $2.99, and we now give it the free training. If you want that, we're waiting for Fed Jerome Powell to take the stage for this meeting. Are we going to get an emergency rate cut? I don't know. So there you go. So if you'd like to become a member, you can. I will cover all the CEO interviews for members only. They will be live, unedited, unscripted. And if people say to me they don't want to come on camera, they don't want to be seen, identified, I'm just not interested. Even if they want to pay me money to send me off to Cannes for the weekend, not interested. And because of that, I've taken days of abuse. Here we go.
Price stability.
Oh, they're just playing music in the background. We don't want that. Yeah.
Crow265 donated $2 through a super chat. You're the best at what you do. Have a great day.
Thank you very much indeed. I do appreciate that. If you've just tuned in, over the last 24 hours, because of this epic incident, I lost like 300 subscribers, 300 followers. It's the same people that joined for the information then turned against me because I was saying something negative.
One of the highlights of the ECB's Sintra Forum, our policy panel. The world economy is undergoing a period of rapid and intense change. The questions of our next panel...
We're on standby for Jerome Powell.
The questions for our next panel will cover what these fundamental shifts mean for the future of monetary policy. And we are honoured to have an exceptional lineup of officials to answer them. We are also honoured to have Francine Lacroix, anchor and editor-at-large at Bloomberg Television, to be guiding the conversation. Francine, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Claire, thank you so much for that introduction. What can I say? We have 1 hour and there's a lot to discuss. So welcome to the policy panel, Sintra 2025. Now, from tariff-related trade ructions to oil price gyrations, caused by also Middle East hostilities. There are many questions on, first of all, how to handle the fallout from some of the political decisions, but much more how the economy behaves. Now, 1 year on since the last Sintra panel, and of course, halfway through 2025, global policy needs to navigate risks posed both to inflation and growth, a challenge highlighted by the Bank for International Settlements in a report this week. So let's get started. We have 1 hour.
We're going to switch to members only, and I'm going to put all members' comments on the screen. So if you're a member, I will share your screen, your message on the screen so you can take part in the video. Here we go.
We have Chang Yong-ri, Governor, Bank of Korea, and then Andrew Bailey,
I will go back public later on in the show, but for now,
let's start with you as our host. So first of all, thank you so much for having us all here. We had a little bit of data today, this morning, consumer prices rising some 2% from a year ago, up from May's 1.9%. But then the tariffs still loom large. So how do you see that developing?
Well, first of all, I would note that we are at 2%. And this is the latest reading. This is also the target that we have had, and this is the projection that our staff is indicating for the medium term,
going back
which
up
is
again.
exactly what we had anticipated. So I'm not saying mission accomplished, but I say target reached, okay? And I think we should start by recognizing that. We faced a massive amount of shocks.
Yes, it is the Powell thing. Jerome Powell is sat in that audience.
We are now through that
disinflationary
process that we have conducted over the last 2 years. And yes,
Powell
we are
is
facing
talking in a moment.
A lot of uncertainty. Yes, we are facing the risk of fragmentation increasing. And yes, we are facing geopolitical developments that are worrying generally, but that also are causing two-side risk to inflation. So we have to continue to be extremely vigilant. We have to continue to be committed to delivering on our target. And I think we are at this point in time in a very good position to do that. So we are well equipped to navigate the tormented waters that we should anticipate.
Chair Powell, tariffs are not yet showing up in inflation. Is this forcing you or your staff to actually rethink what the models say about how much the tariffs will ultimately through some of the final prices?
So thank you, Francine. And Christine, thank you to you and your colleagues for putting on another great conference here today. It's been a pleasure. I guess I would start, if I may, by saying that the U.S. economy is in a pretty good position. Inflation has come down close to 2%. We're at 2.3 headline, 2.7 core. The unemployment rate is at 4.2%, so we're healthy overall. If you ignore the tariffs for a second, inflation is behaving pretty much exactly as we have expected and hoped that it would. We haven't seen effects much yet from tariffs, and we didn't expect to by now. We've always said that the timing, amount, and persistence of the inflation would be highly uncertain, and it's certainly improved that. So we're watching. We expect to see over the summer some readings, higher readings, but we're prepared to learn that it can be higher or lower or later or sooner than we'd expected.
But, Chair, would the Fed have cut more by now if it weren't for the tariffs?
So I think that's right. In effect, we went on hold when we saw the size of the tariffs and essentially all inflation forecasts for the United States went up materially as a consequence of the tariffs. So we didn't overreact. In fact, we didn't react at all. We're simply taking some time. As long as the U.S. economy is in solid shape, we think the prudent thing to do is to wait and learn more and see what those effects might be. And again, they haven't really shown up. So for now we're waiting.
Governor Rhee, South Korea's economy is, of course, highly reliant on trade. Putting aside the deals that each government can strike with the Trump administration, what can central banks, in your position, do to shield economies from the impact of trade tariffs?
Actually, about the tariffs' impact on inflation, our current inflation is well stabilized around 2%, and we believe tariff tends to be deflationary rather than inflationary for three reasons. One is Korea is not likely to use retaliatory tariff. Second, we import 22% of our import from China. And recently, export price of China has been falling at 5% a year for several years, and we believe that it will continue to do so. And at this moment, our growth rate is 0.8%, which is well below our potential growth rate. So aggregate demand pressure is much lower. So our problem is not the inflation itself, but the gross impact of tariff.
So what does that mean you'll do going
Market's
forward?
going up. I'll go for the main stocks as well.
We have been in easing cycle,
button,
and
it will
we
share it out to more people. Thank you.
100 BP from last October, and we will continue to be in an easing cycle given our growth rate. But recently, financial stability risk has been rising, especially housing price in metropolitan area is increasing very fast.
All members' messages shared on the screen.
Financial stability risk in deciding the pace and the timing of the further cuts.
Governor Bailey, you've taken the view that the latest rises in inflation in the UK will be transitory. Why are you so confident that inflation will fall back?
Actually, you may have detected I've tried to avoid using the transitory word because it was, oddly enough, it has a bit of a history. But to be serious, obviously any increase in inflation is an increase in inflation, sorry to state the obvious. The reasons it's gone up is really entirely due to so-called administered prices. Now, that's, as I say, that's an increase in prices, don't get me wrong. But it's not telling us much or anything about the context of the economy. In other words, it's not telling us anything really much about the balance of supply and demand in the economy. So I think the key judgment for us is, are we going to get second-round effects from this this pickup?
Defensives going up, gold's going up. There you go.
Just to be clear,
the market is uncertain.
And my judgment
could be
is
in
at the
for a
moment
nice
is
big
that
dip.
the context is different. That we do see evidence. I see some signs of softening in the economy. I see signs of softening in the labour market. We are going to have to see those come through, though. I mean, come through into prices. I think we've still got to see the evidence and prices. But that background context allows certainly me to say, look, I think the direction of interest rates continues to be downwards.
When you look at all of the uncertainty, again, it's a bold call given what happened to oil prices and trade negotiations?
It is. I mean, I would say two things on that. One, I think, as others have said, it's probably, Jay was saying, I think it's a bit too soon, I think, really to see the price effects coming through from the trade and tariffs action. We've made a point of saying also that,
don't buy
Christine was saying, that these are two-sided. They could go either way. Could be weaker demand. We could see some supply chain disruption. And the second thing, of course, is that, you know, some of these effects, if you take the oil price story, it's gone up, it's come down, all since our last meeting, effectively. So, you know, we always reach for the lexicon at this point. I mean, we've added unpredictability to uncertainty. I was slightly amused at the introductory film this morning with Christine saying all these words, because it's true. Because not only are we getting uncertainty in the sense, you know, the range of outcomes, but unpredictable in the sense that if you get things like, you know, the tariff action, history really isn't a particularly good guide to that, actually. You can't really draw much from the past on that.
Now, Governor Ueda, you're in a slightly different situation, right? Japan's CPI has stayed above 2% for 3 years now. What do you see as the fundamental changes in your economy that make inflation more persistent?
What a great panel. So much information here to learn.
To put it simply, as you say, headline inflation has been above 2% for almost 3 years, while what we call underlying inflation is still...
Listen out for carry trade information.
That's the situation we are in. But if I could decompose it further, there's probably about three components to it. First, there's underlying inflation dictated by wage price dynamics, whereby increases in prices affect wages, which further affect prices, helped by resilient domestic demand. This component has been going up slowly. But as I said, it's still somewhat below 2%. Then there's going to be perhaps a second component, which will be the expected negative effects of possible tariffs on the economy and on prices. We are expecting this to take place, but we haven't seen that yet. There's a third component, which is domestic supply shock generated by increases in food prices. Actually, this component
rice, for example,
accounts for about 50% of the headline inflation we've got at the moment. So netting these three, we think the first component and the second component will produce a slow increase in underlying inflation toward 2% by end 26 or 27. The third component, food inflation, is going to subside toward the year end. So that we will be closely monitoring interplays between these three forces.
I'm sharing all members' comments and questions on the screen.
The day after President Trump threatened Japan with more tariffs?
Well, it's being negotiated by our minister in charge, so I'm trying to avoid making any specific comments on this.
So let me just ask you, what will be the key trigger for Japan for deciding further rate hikes?
Okay, as I said, it will depend on the relative strength of the three inflation dynamics I was describing, and we need some more information to determine that.
President Lagarde, when you look at rate cuts, I mean, are we where do you see actually the ECB going? You're in a pretty comfortable position right now out of all the central banks.
Data will tell. So I think we are determined to continue to be data dependent, to decide meeting by meeting, and to not commit to any particular rate path. That's the doxa. And we're very lucky because we have just completed our strategy assessment, which really gives us a good framework and good strategy lines within which to operate. But those three aspects that I have mentioned, data dependent, meeting by meeting, no commitment to any particular rate path, are constant in that ongoing strategy based on what we have concluded actually yesterday.
Jay Powell?
So from our standpoint, as you will have seen,
thank you so much
the solid
for your
majority
support.
of
Nearly
FOMC
100,000
participants do expect that it will become appropriate later this year to begin to reduce rates again. And so,
there we go.
That will depend, though, as Christine just mentioned, on the incoming data. We'll be monitoring particularly what does show up in terms of inflation or what does not show up.
That's the first time he said we'll be cutting rates.
Labor market. We watch very carefully for signs of unexpected weakness. We see a gradual cooling, but we don't really see that yet. So those are the things we'll be watching. But as I mentioned, a majority of us do feel that will be appropriate in the remaining 4 meetings of the year to begin to reduce rates again.
Madame Lagarde, the euro has also surged about 12% against the dollar so far this year. Are you concerned that its strength runs counter to your efforts to also loosen financial conditions?
I'm going to buy some more.
I'm not going to comment on the exchange rate.
I'm going to buy some more.
We take it into account for purposes of our projections. Obviously, it has an impact, but it's a reflection of the market conditions and assessment. It's also a reflection of the strength of our economy. But there has been a clear appreciation relative to the dollar, and depending on how you look at it, it's either a depreciation of the dollar or an appreciation of the euros. And there might be a bit of both in that particular case. We're also looking at the movement, the flow of capitals and the attractiveness of euro-denominated assets, which is also an interesting phenomenon that we've observed lately.
Just bought another 20 shares.
Jerome, I mean, is it fair to say, I know, nothing is guaranteed, number one, we all know this.
Jerome Powell just told you they'll be cutting
is July just too soon to seriously even consider
there'll be several cuts. There you go, look at it.
Yeah, I really can't.
There you go.
It's going to depend on the data, and we are going meeting by meeting.
I just bought that.
I mentioned how I'm thinking about that, but I wouldn't take any meeting off the table or put it directly on the table. It's going to depend on how the data evolve.
Governor, what's the biggest risk stemming from protectionist trade policy, actually, for the global economy and for South Korea's?
Can you just...
The biggest risk stemming from trades and protectionist measures?
that Korea has a quite export-driven economy. So whatever the global fragmentation has a serious impact. Not only direct impact.
We're going to turn green in the next 15 minutes. That was a go
China,
sign.
Mexico, Canada. And
I'm going to make my prediction that would be green.
It really depends on what's going to happen on July 9th. We are actually waiting for the result, but we don't know what's going to happen. But for example, like if the tariff goes back to 26% retaliatory tariff that was announced in April 2nd, and then also with a lot of sectoral tariff which affect our economy, aluminum, steel, and cars, we can easily say that it has an impact larger than close to 1% in our GDP growth rate. And depending on how long it lasts, I think we have to adjust to the new supply chain. So the impact will be larger. So, but I hope that scenario won't come.
What is the most concern for the Bank of Korea? Is it a stalling South Korea exports, slowdown in global trade,
sign, folks,
or a downturn in the U.S. economy?
It's all linked, right? It's all linked, right? So it's a global economy slowdown. And one thing, I mentioned some negative sides only, but one positive side, I don't know if it's positive or not, but Korean companies has been preparing for the supply diversification long time ago.
Let's see which stocks are moving.
Tariff, U.S. tariffs start to, because we have some issues with China, and then also Chinese industry has become very competitive. So we had to relocate
green
our
in 5 minutes.
Production site from China to elsewhere. So relatively speaking, we are well prepared. And second, still good thing is that we have some strong industries such as semiconductor, which benefit from the AI technology development. So I hope that we can manage it. But on the other hand, given we look at the sheer size of the export dependence, we will be significantly affected.
There we go. Soda loves it.
Do you think interest rates will be closer to 3 or 4% at the end of the easing cycle?
That was my biggest tip of the year, Soda. End-phase energy. That was a go sign.
That's a subtle way into the R-style question, actually.
That's why we covered this.
I would detect. So look, I'm fairly cautious about the whole discussion of the level of R-star and therefore sort of where rates are going to reach in the cycle. There is huge uncertainty around it. What I think is important, and what we spend our time looking at, is how restrictive is policy, both now and going forwards. And our staff do a huge amount of work on that front to judge the
defence is being sold off.
Yep, the current
there's your go sign.
And how it's how restrictive
Tesla
it's going to be
back
looking forwards if you project forward with the market curves. And the assessment we've got at the moment is that policy remains restrictive. It will continue to be restrictive, although the level of restrictiveness will come down over time, which is what I would expect. So I would expect that level of restrictiveness to come down to a point where it goes more neutral. But I think you have to judge that in context. Just to give you an example of that.
Robin Hood, because of a brokerage. Look, there it is. There it is. There's your go sign. Look at it.
The economy is actually
it loved
lower
it.
than we would
the
have
markets love
expected
it
to be. But based on past experience. So again, that feeds through into just how restrictive policy is at a given interest rate. It's somewhat less restrictive probably
there you go.
Than it would have been historically.
Plug being dumped.
Could I ask all of you actually thoughts on the neutral rate?
That's what I said was going to happen.
Powell. Thoughts on the neutral rate? I think
we'll be green in the next 5 minutes.
Countless empirical and theoretical ways to derive it. At the end of the day, I think I like to look at the economy and ask whether our policy stance is having the effects we expect and want on the economy. And to me, I would say we're somewhere probably modestly restrictive at this level. And by some formulations, we're more restrictive than that. But if you look at the economy, growth has been solid. The labor market is solid and still at historically low levels of unemployment. It's not an economy that feels like it's suffering from very tight monetary policy. But I would say that policy is still restrictive.
President Lagarde?
I would say that it's a nice concept, it's interesting, and many of the terribly talented and brilliant economists in this room actually are delighted with discussion about the neutral rate. But honestly, as we're getting closer to target and to where we should be, or are where we should be, and I don't want to pass judgment on that, I think that discussion becomes less relevant. I think what our staff at the ECB measures is leads us to believe that it is higher than where it was before the great financial crisis, but it's relatively
Thank you very
low,
much, folks. Thank you so much for your support.
As well, compared, for instance, with what
Thank you so much. We aim to be the most honest YouTube channel on YouTube TV.
In a way, it's a bit of an illusion to discuss that at the moment, because the neutral rate is normally defined in a world where there is no shock, where you have perfect equilibrium. Now, are we in a world with no shocks at the moment? I don't think so. So it's nice to have as a concept,
Applied
nice
Pressure
to
donated
elaborate on it, nice to do research on it, but to use it at the moment where we are as a guiding principle to where we should be,
Thank you.
I don't think is particularly appropriate.
Thank you.
Andrew Bailey?
Well, that sort of continues what I was saying earlier. Again, I don't use it as a sort of a guide to where policy should be, but I think this whole concept of restrictiveness is, of course, critical to our judgment, because that's critical to the transmission mechanism of policy, which we have to judge every time we meet. So that's a judgment that, in a sense, we renew every meeting we have. I think I'd rather agree with what Jay was just saying. I think in our case, policy
5 minutes of general subscribers can comment on the screen.
Restrictive based on
5 minutes
on the curve
from
that we've got
now.
in the market. That's what I would expect. We will judge it each time.
Governor Ree? Similar?
I have nothing to add.
Yeah, how would you see it, Governor Ueda?
Yes, so we also estimated something like the neutral rate a number of times. But the range of estimates is very wide.
Yeah, rate cuts in July.
So, but at least we think we can say that the current rate is below neutral. But other than that, I would refer to what Jay said a year or two ago in the Jackson Hole conference, which was like, we are guided by our stars, but under cloudy sky.
President Lagarde, can you talk to us about scenario and why this is, because of the shocks and actually the changes that are going very fast, why scenarios make more sense as a template of the economy?
Oh, okay. So this is a topic that we have largely debated as part of the strategy assessment that we conducted in the last year.
I started with $5,000. I'm now
fairness,
at
the baseline, which is the essential projection on which we work and we determine our monetary
no options,
policy
no
stance,
shorts, just buying the S&P on macro conditions.
Decisive in our consideration. But at the same time, our staff has, I wouldn't say forever, but as long as I know myself, has always conducted scenario analysis, sensitivity analysis.
No, I will not be selling.
In order to arrive
I've already trimmed,
the
now
most,
I'm buying back.
Solid baseline. It is probably the case that we will do more of it, more systematically.
Inflation is not coming back.
That we might publish more often than we have. We have published, I think, in the last few years, in four circumstances we have published scenario analysis. The invasion of Ukraine was one, COVID was one, the oil crisis as well, and the tariff threats. So all those were exogenous factors that were sort of hitting our screens. I think we might do more scenario analysis that will be looking at the longer-term trends that will affect our economy, and that will inform and strengthen our baseline, enhance it probably in its reliability. So that's what we are debating at the moment, how this is built, what assumptions we make, what choices are decided.
Please tap the like button, it will share it out to more people. Thank you so much.
By the Governing Council in good intelligence with our staff.
Yeah, and Jay Powell, on scenarios?
So for many years, we have used scenario analysis internally, and I personally find it very useful. I think many of my colleagues do too. You have just many different kinds of scenarios. We have 6 or 7 at every FOMC meeting. They're often the topic of discussion among governors and at the meeting. We have not taken the step of using them as a public communications device, and that's a big difference. So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about this fall. We will wrap up the first part of our framework review, which is the consensus statement, our monetary policy framework. We expect to by the end of the summer. And then we're going to use the fall meetings to look at communications ideas, and that's one of the ones we'll look at. I will say it has a lot of appeal and a lot of questions, and so my expectation is if we're going to do something in that area, it's going to be putting a toe in the water and not just throwing ourselves in, over Niagara Falls on it. So I can imagine a situation where we would try that in a particular circumstance. But for us, we're just going to do the work and understand it, as many other central banks are doing now.
In our case, we use the scenario analysis in our risk management section.
All members, I will give you your perks at the end, and anyone who becomes a member today, I'm going to give you an opportunity and tell you all about our free, I'm going to give away a free training program, a whole video course with one-on-one support, live at the end of the show. To become a member, and extra perks as well. Special day celebrating our 4th anniversary on Friday.
So because that scenario and those underlying assumption may be much harder to communicate, to agree among the members, and also it's specific to us, but how I can differentiate the previous approach of risk management section to the focusing that I
membership link in the chat
to do.
So I think 2 things I would add, and it's very much in the same spirit as colleagues. One, we introduced 2 scenarios in the May round and in the May report. For me, they were very useful. They were either on either side. They weren't symmetric, by the way, but they were on either side.
Inflation is not coming
back.
For
me, they were very useful in terms of my decision-making, because they helped me to answer the question, given the uncertainty. If I'm wrong in my judgment, how wrong am I going to be? Do I think I'm going to be? And what would be the consequences of that? And what would we then have to do to deal with them? I mean, is it manageable? And that was helpful. And then I think the question, coming back to what Jay was saying in terms of public communication, I mean, this is the big step, I think, and it is challenging. I'll tell you why, because I say this quite a lot. We make a lot of conditional statements. You may have detected this in all the many interviews you do. And I'm not making a personal comment now, Francine, but a lot of those conditional comments get immediately translated as unconditional comments. It's sort of life.
We're quite careful, but...
No, it's not personal. This is the general point. And so the reason I say this is that if we... and that's about the central case, by the way. So if we introduce scenarios, that's a message to us that you're going to have to do this very carefully in that world, because to get the point across about, there is always a range, there is always uncertainty, there is always risk, how you calibrate those and how you, as Jay was saying, how you communicate those publicly is critical, but pretty challenging, frankly, in that environment.
Governor Ueda?
Yes, we also carry out many simulation exercises about scenarios, but we have not, as far as I know, published them. We do discuss in our quarterly reports qualitatively what risks we have in mind. On top of that, I would say, in a very rough way, we are carrying out something like a risk management approach to monetary policy making. which is probably a bit similar to what Christine was talking about yesterday. I can't come up with a good example, but risk scenarios, thinkings about tail risks, sometimes do affect our monetary policy.
Anyone who becomes a member today, at the end of the show, I will give you a free video training course, plus many perks. I promise you, it's the best investment you'll ever make. And I guarantee you will love it.
Shift in the status as
if you do that in today's show, it's only $2.99.
On 2025 as some sort
and I'm going to give you
year.
Everything for free.
I don't think so. Especially in case of Korea, our Korean won has appreciated significantly in the last 2 months. But I think it's mostly due to the very unique situation that we had. We had a very unexpected, unnecessary martial law declaration in last December. And after that, this political risk, together with the slowdown in our economy, really make a Korean won depreciate much more than our fundamentals explained. So in some sense, the appreciation that we have observed in the last 2 months, in some sense, normalization of our currencies. And as for the kind of long-term shift of the dollar sentiment, we have discussions, but looks like people are talking about it. But at this moment, they keep the dollar assets while they're increasing the hedge ratios. So at this moment, I think the lion's share of the impact, BIS report show this one is impact is mostly moving from the unhedged to the hedged positions. So we have to see what will happen in the future.
Yeah, Governor Bailey?
Well, I'd say two things. First of all, I think that it's important to bear in mind what the definition of a reserve currency is and how it's evolved over many years. So I like John Ray. I don't see there being a sort of a major shift at the moment. Not least because in this day and age, the definition of a reserve currency.
Thank you, Pixel. Wait to the end. I'll give you all your perks, a free training course, and access to our free trial for our newsletter too, plus many more things. Thanks for your trust. I promise you'll love it at the end. You can always cancel if you don't agree with me.
The second
thing is going back
to something Christine was saying earlier. I mean, when we look at financial conditions, which we do, of course, but I do think particularly, I always believe this, but I think it's even more relevant at the moment to unpack a financial conditions index. And the reason I say that is because we've seen a breakdown in the correlations of the components of a financial conditions index. So you look at sort of bond yields, you look at exchange rates, you look at equity risk premium, for instance. Those correlations are not the ones that we've tended to see established over time. So you have to look at it much more carefully. There are stories, to my mind, about each of the components of that. So when I look at the exchange rate, I look at it very much on that basis. I don't think
I've got the studio lights because I'm expecting this to turn green shortly.
It's all behaving normally because the correlations are not actually.
Governor Ueda, there's also many colleagues at central banks, I guess, around the world.
Jerome Powell told you he's cutting rates twice. He told you.
Is that the only real alternative to the dollar?
So I bought it.
I think it's up to a certain extent what areas like Europe or China would do in terms of improving the efficiency or convenience of their currencies, like the kinds of things we were discussing this morning, capital markets integration, and these things will change the degree to which the role of the dollar may decline.
Thank you, Jesus. Wait till the end. I promise you're going to love what I'm going to give you.
Women Lagarde?
I think, I don't know if 2025 will be a pivotal year. I would tend to think that, yes, it might very well be. But for a major change to occur will take a lot of time.
Daniel
and
has
will
become a
require
member.
a lot of effort. And I completely agree with the points made by Andrew about the dichotomy that we're seeing at the moment. And that might be an indication of the fact that investors are looking at options. This is what investors are saying. They ask questions, they seek alternatives, and whether that translates into a general lack of confidence that will be further fueled by more uncertainty, more unpredictability, a bit of a jump in the unknown on several fronts, not just monetary policy, not just even the economics, but beyond that, in terms of security at large, for instance, I think remains to be seen. It's not going to happen just like that overnight. It never did historically. There is no reason it should now. But there is clearly something that has that has been broken, and whether it is fixable or whether it is going to continue to be
We're giving
broken,
away a free training course
at
the end of this.
Chair
For
Powell,
those
how
that
do you
become a
think we'll look
member,
back on
we'll tell you all about it.
So you're asking me
and some other perks as well.
how we're going to look back on 2025.
Yeah, how will historians look back on this year? Is it pivotal?
It's clearly an important year. There's a lot going on, with trade, and I'm hopeful that we'll look back on it as a year where we successfully challenged some significant economic changes, and our job is to make sure that is the case.
You get attacked by the president a lot on a personal basis. Does it make your job harder?
I'm very focused on just doing my job. I mean, there are things the things that matter are using our tools to achieve the goals that Congress has given us: maximum employment, price stability, financial stability, and that's what we focus on, 100%.
Madame Lagarde, if you were in the same position as Chair Powell, would you do anything differently?
I think I speak for myself, but I speak for all colleagues on the panel. I think we would do exactly the same thing as our colleague Jay Powell does. The same thing.
Whoa, that's bullish.
Right?
Yes.
Oh my God. The whole world is aligned with Jerome Powell. Holy crap, that's massive. Whoa. That's a huge statement to make.
Martyn has
Governor
become
Bailey,
a member.
is the rest of the world decoupling from America but pulling tighter elsewhere? How do you see fragmentation happening?
Well, fragmentation, were it to happen, in my view, is bad for activity in the world economy. No question about that. I mean, if we reduce the openness of the world economy, that will be bad for activity in the world economy. Now, I temper that in one respect, because obviously we have learned a lot about the robustness of supply chains over the last 5 years, and it is, of course, appropriate that there will be adjustments to that. But if we see a breakdown of the openness of the world economy sort of beyond that sort of resilience that we do see as needed, then that's bad for activity, it's bad for the world economy, and that I'm afraid is something that I think we need to be very clear. I've said a number of times, look, there are reasons why this is happening. It's not right to just go around saying, this is all wrong, there are no reasons why this is happening. What I think is very important is that we get back to a governance of the world economy where we can address these issues
has become a member.
in the appropriate multilateral fora.
I will give everybody their perks and their free training and everything else at the end. We're going to give a lot of gifts away today. Thank you if you become a member.
And what do we do about them? And I can't emphasize this enough, that I think it's an obligation for all of us who are obviously very heavily involved in the governance of the world economy. We've all got very big responsibilities to say that is our duty, to get back and to the process of saying, what's caused this and what do we do about it, and what do we deduce are the underlying issues and how do we address them? Because otherwise, say fragmenting the world economy is a bad outcome.
But what kind of fragmentation would it be? Is it, again, are you fearful that the world is splintering irrevocably?
That comment sent the markets down.
That's just moving?
Well, I think if it was a breakdown of trade in the world
don't
economy,
worry about that.
Obviously, exactly how that would manifest itself would remain to be seen.
The reaction.
But it would be running against a long period now where we've been building the resilience of trade in the world economy. We've been building openness. But as I said, I want to sort of temper that by saying, look, there are issues. I don't think we should say there are no issues. This is all made up. There are issues, and we need to address what they are and work them out. But we need to do that in the context of a commitment to a robust, open world economy.
Governor Rhee, as the only governor here representing a non-reserve currency country, how concerned are you about fragmentation of the global financial system and the risk at the end of the day that the US may be less willing to provide dollar liquidity in a future financial shock?
No. But I think I mentioned that we are quite vulnerable to the fragmentation. But in reality, as a small country, it's a pity that we can raise our voice, but in reality, we cannot change the course. So we have to probably take it as an environment and to adapt it. What matters is we talk about economic fragmentation, but for a country like us, the most serious issue is combined with security. And for that issue, let me stop here because I don't want to go further. But as for the dollar liquidity support, as demonstrated during the global financial crisis and pandemic period, the standing dollar swap lines with 5 international financial centers and the 9 ad hoc temporary swap lines for the 9 non-reserve currencies, that was crucial in restoring the stability in the global world. And if another global dollar shortage hits, I believe that the U.S. Fed will extend their swap lines again, which is very important. And but one other problem for a country like us is we know that the U.S. provide ad hoc swap lines as long as there is a global dollar shortage. But issue is what happens if
still green,
there is
even though
our
that
own
was
problem and there is no global dollar shortage. Our understanding is that Fed cannot extend the swap lines in that case, and we have to self-defense ourselves. That is why I think that having a adequate, sufficient level of reserves is very important. And recently, thanks to the introduction of the FEMA repo facility by the Fed, actually these reserves become much more effective tool to defend ourselves.
Jay Powell, on fragmentation?
Well, I guess I'll just agree with what Chang Young said, which is, or point out that nothing has changed relative to our swap lines. We still have the same authorities, and we're still prepared to use them in situations where it's within our legal authorities and where we think it makes sense. So that is, we're aware that that's a big contribution that we can and do and will continue to make to global financial stability.
Governor Ueda, how much do you think about fragmentation and the impact this could have on Japan?
See, on the trade side, I think a lot about what will happen to
I made my prediction.
Asia, even Asia,
going to be green.
China. So
I just bought it.
This will depend on the relative
it's easy to make money. The hard part is to keep it.
Region, relative to
it's up
China
already.
Or relative to other countries. But there's a fairly strong intra-regional trade taking place during the last decade or two. Also, there's new countries like India growing at very high speed. So I hope there's...
That's 33 trades, 33 wins.
Resilient domestic demand in the region.
Todor Minev has become a member.
Keep the
33 trades, 33 wins.
Alive.
I won't be selling it for a loss.
Financial side,
I bought it back cheaper.
I don't have much to add
to
what other people have said, but it would be important to keep trying a multi-layered approach to things like swap lines. We have Chenmai initiatives in Asia. Doing something similar or continuing to do something similar would be important.
Madam Lagarde, you've often spoken about the role that Europe could take in a fragmented world. How do you see that developing in what kind of time frame?
Well, I think Europe has witnessed in the last 4 years, in particular, well, since 2022 in particular,
global economy is stronger.
Major
together.
Challenges to its way of doing business, to the assumptions that it has made about security, about supply, about destination. Whether you look at what the horrible Russian invasion of Ukraine has precipitated, and how that has impaired the sentiment of security that we in Europe had, and the sentiment that we could, forever rely on the protection of others, that has been impaired significantly. When you look at the energy supply on which some of the European countries in particular, but most of us, have relied upon.
I'm going to ask in a poll, did you buy that dip? Did you buy on this good news?
From Russia? That has been
That's the poll now. Did you buy with me?
The resources
Here it comes, the poll.
To that. And whether you look at the business model of some countries where destination was inevitably China in the main, that has already been challenged as a result of the fragmentation that is not just a risk, but which has happened. If you combine that with the technology risk that we could all be under, either because of political determination or because of shortage of supply, whether it's on the front of microchips or rare earth, I think we are in a situation where many of the assumptions have been shaken up, and where we collectively are on the cusp of, I hope, this is my hope, of better taking hold and control of our destiny by making significant structural efforts to, be more independent, be more productive, be more autonomous in all these different dimensions. Is it going to happen overnight? Yet again, no, because on some of those fronts it takes time, it takes investment, it takes political determination, it takes momentum, and from a pure sort of, as president of the ECB, what we can do on the monetary front is to deliver on our mandate of providing price stability so that the fluidity of factors that is needed, both in terms of capital, in terms of labor, can rest assured that price stability will be within our remit under strict commitment to deliver on our target of 2% medium term. But yes, I think it's historically, I believe that in a few years' time we will look at 25 or those latest 3 years as significant change in the way in which we conduct our life, our business, and develop Europe, and I hope for the better.
Chair Powell, last year in Sintra, you said that the U.S. cannot run these kind of deficits in good economic times for very long, and then you also said we'll have to do better sooner, something sooner or later, and sooner will be better than later. How's it going?
So, of course, I probably preface that by saying that we don't comment on fiscal policy. That is the one thing that I have said, and my predecessors have also said, and that is the U.S. federal fiscal path is not a sustainable one. The level of the debt is sustainable, but the path is not, and we need to address that sooner or later. Sooner is better than later. That's what I said last year. There's not a lot more I can say.
For everyone else, how much of a problem for the world are America's public finances? Governor Rhee?
We have to see what's going to happen. Yeah, but as I mentioned, we take it as an environment, and we just adjust our policies accordingly.
I don't comment on our fiscal policy, let alone anybody else's.
Anyone else want to take that question? Last year, Governor Ueda, you spoke 2 years ago at this ECB conference. It was your first public appearance overseas after taking the current role in April 2023, and you talked about your surprise with the tight schedule of a central governor. Are you getting used to the schedule? Is it ramping up? Is it even more than when you started?
It's still very tight.
Is it tighter than before? How are you finding yourself after more than 2 years in the job?
It's as tight as 2 years ago.
So it hasn't changed?
Getting used to it a little bit, yes.
Governor, what's your biggest task for the rest of your term until 2028?
Well, as I was saying at the outset, headline inflation is above 2. Underlying inflation is below 2. I want both to converge to 2% by the time I leave my office.
I think you were also asked what keeps you awake at night in Washington in October, and you talked about the pace of rate hikes as one thing. Is it still the same, or do you have other things that you're worrying about?
Let's see. I didn't sleep well last night. There's a reason for this. Governor Yi was sitting next to me during dinner. And he
what
told
a panel
me
this
that,
is. You very rare see this.
Contains less caffeine than coffee. So I immediately had a cup of espresso.
We are very close to 1,000 likes. Can everyone tap the like button? It would be amazing to get 1,000 likes. It's only ever happened once.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, this is a joke, but during these international meetings, I get chances to talk to my colleagues, get a lot of useful insights. So when I go to bed, I think about those and say to myself, maybe I should adjust our economic outlook, our policy strategy in response to these nice comments. And,
thank you so much. Wow, nearly 100,000 subscribers.
But,
this is live. Thank you. Thank you so much. I will do my best to provide the best service.
The trust in ourselves, which is the very foundation of what we do among central bankers.
Amazing.
To all of you, what keeps you awake at night, given all of the uncertainties and the changing world? Madame Lagarde.
First of all, I can confirm what Kazuo just said, because it did happen on occasions that the following day, after probably a difficult night, you came to see me and said, "Did you really say that yesterday during the meeting?" And I knew that you had been sort of ruminating and pondered what the consequences were. So it's the truth. It's not a joke. Yeah. What keeps me awake? The truth. By that I mean I'm getting more and more concerned about the role that artificial intelligence is going to play, about how distorted things can be presented, how public opinion can be manipulated, and having been a lawyer by background, where searching for the truth is one of the purposes that we hold as auxiliary of justice. I'm very concerned by what's happening at the moment and what kind of moral compass being the watchdog of the integrity of data, because we keep saying that we are data dependent, and we are, and we want to see our projections and our assessment and the analysis anchored in empirical data and understanding of what's happening in the reality of the economy. And I do have this fear that
we're getting some trolls in the
things
chat.
can be distorted.
We are investors, so we're switching back to members only. We want to talk to investors, not idiots.
Easy and actually described now in some literature. That is of great concern to me. I mean, I sleep at night, but...
Chair Powell?
So I have a little more than 10 months left on my term as chair. And all I want, and all anybody at the Fed wants, is to deliver an economy that has, price stability, maximum employment, financial stability. And what keeps me awake at night is how do we get that done? I want to hand over to my successor an economy in good shape, and so do all of my colleagues. That's all we ever want. So that's what keeps me awake at night. Is are we on a path to do that, and how do we get that done?
Do you plan to stay on as Fed governor after your chair term expires?
I have nothing for you on that today.
Governor Rhee, what keeps you up at night?
First, my apologies to Ueda-san, but...
Bonds has become a member.
Scores on the espresso will be settled.
One concern that I have is unique to our problem is a perception gap of the public due to very rapid structural changes. For example, a decade ago, our potential growth rate is around 3%, but now it's well below 2%. But people still think that
two rate cuts coming this year. Jerome Powell basically said it.
And that actually expedites the demand for the more stimulus monetary policy and fiscal policy, while what we need is a structural reform. But on the other hand, if I keep on talking about structural reform, I don't know how far I can go on discussing this structural issue, because some people say that it's well above my mandate. But I think what is important for our country is not only the cyclical issue, but how to adapt to these structural changes, and that is a very difficult challenge.
Governor Bailey?
Well, I want to deliver inflation sustainably at target. As I keep saying to my colleagues, can you please stop thinking of all the shocks that we haven't had yet in my term that we might have. But today's, maybe I've been sleeping too well, because I felt I needed something else to do, because today's a significant day, because it's my first day as chair of the Financial Stability Board after taking over from Klaus's enormously distinguished leadership. And so that gives me a whole load of other vulnerabilities to think about and worry about when I haven't got anything else to do. But seriously, there obviously are issues in the financial system that we're very focused on and will be very focused on in terms of understanding the vulnerabilities of the situation we're in.
Governor Rhee, I also wanted to ask you actually about digital currencies, because the Bank of Korea put brakes on testing a central bank digital currency this week. Would you agree that it's more of a priority to find, the right regulation for the immediate challenge of stable coins than to develop a CBDC that no one may use?
That's a hot topic now in Korea. Surging in the dollar-denominated stable coins, especially recent passage of the Genius Act in the United States, make many fintech companies and the advocates of the stable coins to ask the government to allow the non-bank institutions to participate, to issue the Korean won-denominated stable coins. As you mentioned, that we have been experimenting the
Don't touch plug.
tokenized deposit
Manipulated
pilots with
by
a
Russian oligarchs.
commercial bank in
Tried to
our
manipulate me
commission
all the
network. But I think given the surging demand for allowing non-bank financial institutions to issue stablecoins in public domain, make us a little bit. I have to talk with the government agencies because it's well beyond the Bank of Korea's mandate. From our perspective, what we are worrying about is that if we allow the unregulated one-denominated stable coin, it will definitely expedite the exchange
Defensive
into
surging.
dollar-denominated coins and undermine our capital flow management regulation. We don't know whether the critic says that the new technology in blockchain can identify the irregular transactions, do the know your customer rule kind of regulation very well, and then even identify the irregular, strange transaction very easily. But we're not so sure whether this is true. And also there's a narrow banking issue, many other issues. So I think I have to talk to the government authorities how to handle this kind of regulations.
Andrew Bailey?
Yeah, I mean, it's an important subject. It's one of the subjects that we will have on the agenda for the FSB, no question about that. You see, the thing that I think is about stablecoins is that, and here I distinguish them from something like Bitcoin.
Adam Preston, I haven't had a loss. I won't be selling this
they purport
when
to
it's
have
down
the medium of exchange
at all. So it's a win. I bought it back lower,
and therefore they do have to meet the
so
test
it's a
of
win.
money. And we've talked a lot about this. We've talked a lot about trust in money, about the so-called singleness of money, which is really all about them being assured to hold their nominal value. And for me, this is going to be the critical test as to what structure and design comes out of all this work that meets that critical test. Because if they don't, then I don't think we can be content with them. And if they're purporting to be money but don't actually meet the test of money.
Christine Lagarde?
I have a relatively strong view on that point, if you don't mind, because I think that we are falling prey to some confusion between money, means of payment, and payment infrastructure.
Agreed.
And that is accelerated or emphasized as a result of the technology that are being used and some technologies
by
in particular.
selfish greed. You're absolutely
And I
right.
regard money as a public good, and ourselves as the public servants in charge of securing and protecting that public good. My fear is that blurring of the lines that I mentioned earlier are likely to lead to a privatization of money. And I don't think that this is the purpose for which we've been appointed to do the job that we have, nor is it good for this public good that is money. I think it risks undermining our capacity to conduct monetary policy, and I think it's risk weakening the sovereignty of those countries or those regions which inadvertently become subject of the use of that means of payment infrastructure / alleged money, and we should not only just consider it, but determine what our policy should be about it, if we mean what we say and we protect what we have to protect. Thank you.
Chair, I actually have a question. Do you fully support the recent proposal driven by the Vice Chair for Supervision, Michelle Bowman, on rolling back capital rules? Would that actually meaningfully improve liquidity in the Treasury market?
I do fully support what we, in fact, voted for, what we put out for comment, which is sort of putting the leverage ratio back where it should be, which is a backstop to risk-based capital. And so yes to that question. Let me say on stable coins, if I can.
Yeah.
I do share the concerns that you hear here, but I also think it's a positive step that we don't have a regulatory framework for these now in the United States. We tried very hard in the last Congress to work with people on both sides of the aisle to create such a thing. Now it looks like we're well on the way to creating a framework, which I think is something we need. If we're going to have stable coins, and apparently we need to have a federal and state level regulatory framework, which I think we're making progress towards having.
We only have a couple of minutes left, and so many of you have plenty of time left in office. Others will leave sooner. Knowing what you know today, Governor Ueda, if you already had to offer some advice to your successor, whoever that may be, what would it be?
I don't know. If I finish in 2.5 years or so, maybe, as I said, inflation would be at 2%, but I will not have finished reducing our balance sheets to appropriate levels. So I would say to my successor, take great care in proceeding with further reduction of the balance sheet, size of the balance sheet.
I like that. Christine Lagarde?
I don't think I would say anything because I remember my predecessor telling me that it would be a walk in the park. So I'd say nothing. But I would share the ambition of Jay Powell. I would want to hand over, job as well done as possible and results achieved as much as possible.
So quickly, we're trying to deliver macro stability, financial stability, economic stability for the benefit of all the people. If we're going to do that successfully, we need to do it in a completely non-political way, which means we don't take sides, we don't play one side against the other, we stay out of issues that are really not our bailiwick, and we just focus on those things. Really, we're trying to have it be so that the public lives their best economic lives, and so elected policymakers can make the really important decisions in a stable environment. And so that's how I think about it.
Governor Rhee?
I can say something, but I don't know whether my successor will take it seriously. But given that I mentioned structural issues, I hope that the Bank of Korea continue to raise voice outside of just monetary policy for general economic issues.
And Governor Bailey?
Be humble. So we're exercising real power. Many people think we are not humble. Be humble. And I'll say this, if you want an illustration of this, Christine and I were both in Ukraine the week before last. If we think we have it difficult, spend time with the Central Bank of Ukraine. Nothing.
Yeah. Thank you so much to everyone for a wonderful panel. Thank you.
I wonder if we're going to get questions. Let's have a look.
Thank you, Madame. See you soon. Great conference.
No, it doesn't look like it. Let me just see.
Thank you to Francine and to all of our panelists for doing such an excellent job of bringing today's first day of Sintra
Let's see if we get questions and then I'll wrap up.
For those of you in the room, just 2 pieces of housekeeping. We'd like you all to vote on the Young Economist competition.
No,
to do so, please go outside into the foyer.
Okay, great. So let me wrap this up and get ready for our next event. We're doing reviews today, and I promised everybody if you became a member and became part of our show today, you would get some perks and benefits, and that's absolutely true, and I'm going to do that for you now. So for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm hoping that Sensei is going to call in. I don't know if Sensei is in the chat. Let me just say, are you ready to call in? Let's see if he's ready. Yes, he's going to call in. Wonderful stuff. Right. So let me just give you this information, and we're gonna have a guest call into the show. So if you are new to the show, what we try to do, just to give everybody information, because we've got a lot of new people here today. My name is Martyn Lucas. I'm the actual world piano man. I've toured all my life as an entertainer. As a musician, I've had my own theatre company. I had my own Vegas show. I've toured all over the world as the world piano man. And when COVID came, I couldn't tour anymore. I was on the $1 Million tour for the Lions Club. This is one of my trophies to raise money for charity. This is the Jack Weech Trophy for disabled children. And I like to raise money for charity and do stuff like that. And unfortunately, when the when COVID came, it ended my touring career. So as I'm getting on now, I'm 56 years of age, I decided to build a YouTube TV studio, and I wanted to be the most honest, most live, most real YouTube TV show in the world. And I went ridiculous with my studio. As you can see, it's pretty insane. And I hope to provide the best sound, the best video, the best quality, and use all my skills of making friends with guests and VIPs around the world and bringing them onto the show. And that's what I do. I have CEOs come onto the show, and I have a great team that work with me. And my aim is to provide useful information, not to pump and dump anything. I'm 100% in the S&P 500, so I don't manipulate stock. No one can sponsor the channel. No one can. We have a sponsor level for the members, just for viewers, but so we can promote you know what you're doing. But no crypto project can sponsor the channel. They try all the time. I reject it. I'm not interested in that, because then I become a pump and dump YouTuber, and I'm not a YouTuber. I just simply broadcast on the best medium, which I believe is YouTube TV. So that's what I've done here. That's why I'm here. And we go live 12 hours a day, all day, every day, live. I don't make videos off air. I make them on air. You don't make money from live streams. You make money from videos. And I don't just make videos and put them out. When I make my videos, I'm live here with you, talking to you. So I'm questionable. You know, you can question me. I'm transparent. You can ask me anything. You can be in the show. You can call into the show, just like Sensei is calling in now. You can be on the show with me. Ask me anything. I'm not here for the benefit of the projects or the businesses. I'm here for the benefit of my viewers and my members. And everything I do is aimed at serving you in the most honest, open, transparent way. Verifiable, questionable. You can ask me, challenge me, anything. Ask me anything. This is all my money. There's no money in the bank. There's no money in cash. What you're seeing here is all of my money on view and my journey. Now, I started with $5,000, no income on YouTube, and this is where we are today. I've got $247,000. There's no options, there's no shorts, there's no crypto, just the S&P. I sold $250,000 of margin a couple of days ago. I've started to get back in because I like what I'm hearing, and I've bought a little bit. On the way in, I'm just seeing Sensei fan himself because it's extremely hot in England at the moment. It's like that here, but we have air conditioning in America, in Dallas, so I know what he's feeling. It's insane, and I know what it's like. So that's a bit about me and what we do here. So we offer a training program and we offer a membership, not to make me rich, because I believe if you are a good quality investor and you provide good quality information, you should be able to make money out of investing. Not that I can't sell training programs, not that I'm not entitled to sell things and stuff. Well, why not? That's perfectly okay. This is my business. I can sell what I like. But I like to provide the best value service where my best things, like the training courses, are for free. Because that way you provide integrity, because you make money from investing. I don't need to sell training programs. I see a lot of people who sell training programs and stuff like that, who very rarely show you their live real positions, who the only way they survive is making money out of you to buy whatever it is they're buying, and they never lose because you're just funding them losing money, so they always win. Because if you keep buying, you know, any price, as long as the stock doesn't collapse, you're going to make money, right? Well, I try to make money from money and investing, and then I can afford to provide my services to you. So we have a membership plan. And I asked many of you to join throughout the show. And if you did, I would give you some extra perks, because you were showing me trust and faith in that before you knew much about it. Many of you did. I think we had about 15 members join. If you're still thinking about it before I announce what it is, there are the membership links there. If you are on an iOS device, select a browser, desktop version, and you can get the membership. So what is it? Well, we have a membership plan so we can provide services to you, and also to be able to filter out bots, trolls, and scammers. It's a good way of doing that. So we have a membership plan from $2.99. It's one of the cheapest memberships on YouTube because I want everyone to be able to afford it, and I want to be able to give you 20 times back what you give me. That's just my policy, what I try to do. I'm sure I could charge more, but I charge $2.99. And I promised 4 years ago when we started that my membership would never go up in price, including inflation. So in fact, it gets cheaper every single year. So every year, my membership gets cheaper every year, and I provide more and more services every year. Those that became members like 3.5 years ago had a lot less than you get today. And in fact, it's cheaper today because of inflation, and we have more services. So for those of you that become a bronze member today, what do you get? And why was it great for you to do it during the live show? Well, if you become a member today, first of all, when we are in members only mode, which I think we are now, let me just check. Are we in members only mode? I think we are. Let me just double check. Customization. Yes, we are. If when we're in members only mode, you can message the show just like this, and I can share all your comments on the screen just like this. These are all members, so we've got no bots, no trolls interrupting the show, and everyone gets their comment on the show, and I can answer everyone's comments live. No one's left behind, no one's ignored, no one is just sitting at home thinking, if only someone could answer my question. I answer every member's question. That's the live chat. Also, we have many events that are members only because they are very valuable to our members. So we just give it to our members first. You may or may not know that on the show, I interview lots of CEOs because I've now got friends all over the place. I interview CEOs every day. I don't have them every day on the show, but I talk to CEOs every single day. I've got hedge fund managers, Wall Street managers. I've got a friend with Mark Cuban. I've played at Jerry Jones's Halloween event. These are billionaires. I've got some good friends all around the world that I like to, bring you on the show. A few days ago, I was speaking to Zebic before things went wrong, before I found out things weren't the way I liked them to be, the transparency. I spoke to JJ from Zebic. Here he is. And this was a members event. Unfortunately, the CFO wouldn't come on camera. So when all that happened, I thought there's something wrong here, and I disconnected from the company. I don't want nothing to do with it. They wanted to pay me to go to Cannes. I wanted to do it for free here in the studio to provide a much more efficient way. They didn't want it to be on camera. They didn't want to be seen. So I thought, no, this is not for me. It's another crypto project I want to be out of. So that's how integral I am. I will lose members and subscribers to do what's right for my viewers. Okay? So all of my CEO interviews are members only. Another new member. Thank you so much.
Jan Olav Ferkingstad has become a member.
Thank you. So we have members only live streams. You can see these here, members only videos, members only live streams. So that way you get the best information straight away. I also cover the earnings. Don't just cover the earnings. I take part in the earnings. The CEOs invite me to be on their earnings calls alongside the managers, businesses like Bank of America, institutions. You've seen me do that. These are all members only live streams. They ask to be on the show rather than be on Bloomberg and CNBC. We give them world exclusives. Why? Because it's unscripted, unedited, real, live. It happens. It's fun. And they like to talk directly with their investors without, the noise and all the trolls and all the bots. So I have a queue of CEOs wishing to be on the show. That's another thing that you get as a member. Also, as a member, for a minimum $5, you can request a full analysis. Later on today, I'm going to come back and do an analysis stream where I'm going to be reviewing your favorite stocks. People can pay a minimum of $5. If they pay more, they go to the top of the list. If not, I work it way down. So everyone can get a review for $5. Not only do you get a live analysis review, it then trends on YouTube and it can rank on YouTube. And we often rank number one for our stocks and our positions. So, we can put information out that promotes the stock. It's not there to promote the stock, but people learn about the business. So you might want me to do a review for your favorite stock. Now, I'm not going to say it's good if it's bad. I'm not going to say if it's bad, if it's good. I'm just going to tell you how it is from the chart perspective, from Sensei, who does the charts, and for me, from the fundamentals and the human relationships I have with the company. So that's what I do. There are other things you get as a bronze member. If you reply, if you do a comment to any of my YouTube videos, I don't know if there are many YouTubers who do this, particularly with 86,000 subscribers. I reply to every single member. Every single member with an answer personally written. I don't use AI. I never use AI in anything. Everything I do, my thumbnails are created by me, me sitting here, everything is live. I don't use AI to answer questions or reply to you at all. It's all me just talking to you. That's another perk you get as a member, and I'll demonstrate that now, how we do this. So everything I do, I show you live, unedited. This is my YouTube studio. This is behind my channel. Here's my community. These are the comments. Now you can see here, I've got nothing to do because I do this all day, every day. I filter for channel members, all comments. I don't have any bots and trolls on the show. I'm just not interested in arguing with people. I've noticed, especially recently with the Zebic incident, people just want to shout, scream, swear, threaten to do all sorts to you. I haven't got time for that. It's very unpleasant, and I haven't got time. It doesn't help my investors who come here to get information. So I search by all channel members, and then I go held, because everything is held, right? I click apply. There you go. There are 3 comments just come in. Right, there you go. These are members. These are all credible people, right? Now, they might have a view I don't agree with, and that's absolutely fine. Far too often, XRP, ETF confirmed or similar at this point. Does anyone know or anyone care? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reply to these later. It takes time. I'm going to approve all of these. I don't decide who's good or bad. I just approve all members, because members aren't trolls and bots, right? And they're most likely decent people. They might have a different view, but that's okay. I approve all of those. Then I go to published, and later on, when I get 5 minutes, I will reply to these 3 comments here, and I will do that. So that's what another perk you get as a member. Okay, now what else do you get? If you follow me on Instagram and X, there's my Instagram and X in the live chat, I will engage with you. I don't follow for follow, as many people do. They follow you just to unfollow you to grow false engagement. I will engage with you, and I will answer your questions, and I will be honest. And if you don't like the story, like a few days ago, when I said I wasn't happy with the way Zebic behaved, the management, and I didn't want anything to do with them anymore, people went violently aggressive towards me. Sorry about that, but I'm not going to lie just to give you what you want to hear. All right? So there's my X and there's my Instagram. Now, on top of that, this is where it gets really exciting. If you are, and you have during the week, a birthday, join me on Friday and in my live music show as the World Piano Man. Every Friday I do a concert from the music studio behind me, and I will celebrate your birthday, and you get to keep the video. You can do that for an anniversary as well, a wedding anniversary. So you can get to download and keep the video. People pay me $500 for those videos. You get them for free as a member. Now, if you're a silver member, you also go on the homepage of the YouTube channel. If you ask me, I don't do it automatically. You have to ask me. And if you ask me, I can promote your YouTube channel. As a gold member, you get 1 hour video call with me every month, and you can call me up and we can have a conversation. Ask me anything privately, not live on YouTube, and I can help you with anything. And people love that. I've got about 50, 60 gold members, and I provide that service to you. If you're a sponsor member, that's not a corporation, a crypto project just trying to get free publicity. It's you, a viewer that joins me every day, but you'd like me to promote your business. I can do that. And to give you an example, a guy wrote a book, couldn't get it sold, couldn't get anyone to download it. Within 4 days, we had him on the top 10 selling short stories on Amazon. If you are a sponsor, I will promote you. I will get everyone to download something or look at something or take a, I'm not going to tell them to buy it, but I will show them it, and we can promote your YouTube channel. We can get everyone to follow you, whatever. That's what we can do. We also have a platinum level, and we have a couple of platinum members where they get their own one-on-one videos answering their own question. That's $500 a month. So we have a few whales that watch our show, that love the show and support the show at $500. So you can see for $2.99, you're not getting a bad deal as a bronze member. Okay, is that it? Is that all you get? No, there's more. Okay, the last two things to celebrate our 4th anniversary, which was on Friday, is what we're now going to bring you. I said to Sensei, I want to bring something new for our 4th year. We're now in our 5th year now. Something amazing, something that nobody else can do. No matter how hard they try, they can't do it. So me and Sensei spent a weekend working our way to bring you a great service, and that is what we've managed to do. So, what is it? Well, first of all, Sensei now spends 2 or 3 hours a day, every day, providing a newsletter. Now, not just an email newsletter, it's an online newsletter, so you can catch everything else you've missed. There it is in the chat. It's pinned to the top. This is amazing. Every day we want news. We want it to be fact-checked. We want it to be current. We want it to be first. And very often we beat Bloomberg and CNBC to the punch. That's not hard to do, quite honestly, because we talk directly with the CEOs. Well, so do they. But we have no stuff to go through to get it out. We can get it out straight away because that's just what we do. We're just a small little outfit. Me and Sensei doing our best for you. We can get you news very often before you see it on the main news, and we brought you pumps before he was not even on the news, all kinds of stuff. So our newsletter, let me show you what happens when you click on that link. And by the way, I'd like to thank sincerely nearly 1,000 of you are staying with me through all of this promotion stuff.
Owen has become
that
a member.
means a lot. I mean, most people would you could switch off at this point, but we've got nearly 1,000 people listening to me, giving me a few moments to give back to you all these things. And it's nice because you could go, I'm not here for this. I just want to know how to get rich. And you're not. There's nearly 1,000 people listening to me tell you about our training and our membership. So that means a lot that you're staying with me, especially after the last couple of days where I have taken tons of huge amounts of online bullying and abuse because I decided that Zebic wasn't for me after I was so excited about it. So I've been near to tears last few days. Some of it I've shared with Sensei. A lot of it, Sensei, I know you're listening to me now, I haven't shown you. There's been some very violent threats towards me, and it's been very difficult. And to have nearly 1,000 people listen to me tell everybody about our memberships when they could just switch off, it means the world. 99% of our viewers are amazing. 98% of my live viewers are members, higher than any channel in the world. So I'm very proud of that. But sometimes I forget how amazing you are when I get the bad side of it. So thank you. This means a lot today. So if you click on that link, you will come up to a 7-day free trial. So you can try out our newsletter for free. And I think you're going to love it. I don't think hardly anybody cancels our membership. So what you do is you click on this one here and you've got a 7-day free trial. And I'm going to show you the newsletter, and I think you will agree it's the best newsletter. In fact, it's ranking on news platforms now as one of the best. Sensei doing an amazing job. Now, if you are want a founder member, this is more expensive. But again, you might think I would tell you to get this because it's more expensive, we make more money. No, this is the best value, the annual. But if you are one of the founder members, you might love the founder member because it gives you priority service, white glove service, and more personal because you get immediate reaction from Sensei. So this is for the hardcore members. So it is a better service, but it's more expensive. So I recommend everyone get this one. This is the best value. But if you want to be, no, I'm all in with you guys. I want to support the show. I want the white gloves. And we do have some founding members. So it's wonderful. But this is the best value. This also gives you a free trial. So what do you get when you get the newsletter? This is what you get. Every single trading day. You won't see this level of service on any other newsletter. So it's called Sensei's Insights. Sensei, I'll introduce you to him in a moment. He does our charts, technicals, and he's extremely accurate. So because he's not trying to sell you anything or pump anything, or he's just telling you how he reads the charts. And in a moment, I'm going to show you how he trains you to read the charts as well. So not only do you know the news, you know how to apply it to your investing strategy. And that's for free. Stand by. Thank you for waiting and being patient with me. It's a lot of information I appreciate. So every day, Sensei releases another newsletter. Every single trading day. Not now and again, once a week. I don't know how he does it, quite frankly. 2 or 3 hours a morning, every day he does this. And today's, I'll just give you today's event. This was today's at the top. And what do you get in the newsletter? Well, you get some headlines at the top, market snapshot of what's going on in the indices, indexes, commodities, 5 things to know today. Now, very often you'll get this before it comes out on the news because, you know, we are able to get things quicker than the news can. All right. You got in-depth stuff, all fact-checked, all presented beautifully for you. Now, not only do you get emailed this, there's an online version to this where you can download the online, you can go back and see all the previous ones. We do charts for you. We're bringing you the news from all around the world in the finance sector. I'm just going through, look, stuff that was only just coming on the news now. Quotes, Donald Trump. Things that are going on, things that are being said, that's important. We scroll down, Robin Hood. We brought you this story yesterday when it just came out. Now an in-depth report on it. I would then use it in the show for my show notes so you can follow along the show and be ahead of the game. When we do interviews with CEOs, you get the full questions and things that are going to happen during the show. Then you get our links, how to connect with us on Discord and our X accounts and so on and so forth, all the rest of it. And deeper dive, the ETFs, it just goes on and on and on. So much information, absolutely fantastic. And what makes it even better is at the bottom, a lot of this stuff you can actually engage with and get responses to. In the newsletter, you can click on something and you can actually give your thoughts. There you go. See, you could like this, you could leave a comment, and Sensei will actually reply to you. So you actually can get replies, responses. Of course, when he's busy, the founder members are going to get the responses. That's the purpose of the white gloves personal service. But you can see how useful this is. You can share this out. Now, we've got other YouTubers who actually share this out and use it as their own stuff. You can reply, leave comments. You can see previous reports. That is the newsletter. So I've given you the link. Everybody here should get the newsletter because you've got a 7-day free trial. Try it. I think you're going to love it. If you don't love it, then cancel it. I don't think many people do. All right. So there you go. That's another thing that you get. Now, what else do you get? Now, you're going to love this. This is our final piece. And I promised you something really, really great would be given to you as well. For our 4th anniversary, I wanted to offer a training course, but I didn't want to charge for it. We provide it for free. We could charge $50, $100. We could put it in our gold members only playlist, so only gold members can see it. We could put it on YouTube to get ad revenue. There's loads of stuff we could do, but we said, no, we don't need to. We're making money from investing. Let's again help all our investors make money as we do.
Brian D'Alessandro donated £1.99 through a super chat. Martyn is an honest, genuine guy. Top man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Thanks to Super Chat. That really helps the channel. So we've got a training course and it's free. So how do you access it? And it's limited. At any moment, we could turn it off. If it's too busy, I can't provide the level of service. This is the link to our technical charts training course. And in a moment, I'm going to bring Sensei on the show who will talk to you about what he does, how he does it, and more about his newsletter. Let me replace that in the pin. So now at the top, you can see the technical chart. Now, don't click on it just yet. Don't click on it just yet. Just wait a minute. Sensei's put a poll in. Did you just put a poll in, you cheeky bugger? I didn't even know there was a poll there. Sensei's come in, hacked into my channel. He can do that. He's got special privileges. I'm going to take that away. He's abusing it. And he's doing a poll all about the flipping, what's it about? What service do you like the most? Oh, hello. The daily newsletter, chart training program, YouTube members perks, or live videos. 49% so far is the live videos. That's what we like. That's what you like the most about being a member, because you get because it's the members that provide the live streams. That's why we're here all day, because of the members. I'm glad about that. If that had been your flipping training program or newsletter, I'd have been upset. It's about me sitting here live all day. That makes me feel better. There we go. Thank God for that. That was a bit of a risky poll to put out. Flipping it. No wonder Sensei did it. He tried to make me look bad and him look good. Anyway, we'll come on to him in a minute. Right. So the training program. What happens? If you click on that link I've just put in the chat and pinned to the top, you will see this page. Now, wait, don't click on it. Wait a second. What you see is this. You see 201 subscribers. These are the people that access the training program. These are the people we talk to and provide a one-on-one support with the video training course. These people over here in grey, we don't like these people. They click join server for free. Let me explain why we don't like it. Because they don't listen. They don't read. And it might sound like not that many, but I kick out people every day. That sounds offensive and horrible. It's not. It's the term used on Discord when you remove people. It's called kick. Every day I remove people from the service because I don't want thousands of people in there because I can't provide the service to thousands of people. I can just about do this. So at some point we might turn this off anyway. So if you click join server, even though it says premium subscribers only, no one reads it. They click on this, you can join for free. And all you'll see is this message again about what you're missing. And then after a few days of you doing nothing, because you don't do anything, I remove you. So this number keeps going up and down, right? What you do is this. You click purchase for $2.99. You might go, hang on a minute. You said the training program's free. It is. Stand by. Just wait. The Discord service, we can charge. Others charge $50 and more for what we provide. It gives you access to me and Sensei. You've got the stock channel. You've got the crypto channel. You've got all the community. We're doing loads of stuff in our Discord every day for investors. And we do that for $2.99. But to celebrate our 4th anniversary, I told Sensei we wanted to give a training course. So I said, let's give it to our Discord premium members for free. That's what we do. So that's how you get it. So you click on that Discord link, become a subscriber for $2.99. You can always cancel it if you think it's rubbish. All right, I don't think you will. And we give you a video every week, a training video, a whole course to learn how to read charts. And we give you one-on-one support for free. Okay, this is the service. Let me show you how it works. When you come to Discord, you can see all these people joining without roles. They keep joining. Another one's just joined. Let's have a look. Another one. Yep. All these people keep joining for free. And then they friend request me and then they want me to help them with it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's impossible, right? There's not enough hours in the day. So when you become a premium member like this person just done, thank you very much. 43 minutes ago. There you go. Someone listened. They've done it. Thank you, TP Herod. You will now be bombarded by fake accounts. All these people that come in, pretend to be me. Oh my God, Sensei. There was 6 pretending to be you yesterday. I cancelled 6 yesterday pretending to be Sensei. So when you come in, there's all these people. This is why they come in. Do not accept friend requests from anyone. Me and Sensei do not send them. You send them to us and we accept them if you are a premium member. All right? Otherwise, we don't. And eventually, I'll start kicking out again. There's a button up here called prune. See it? Prune. Last 7 days. There you go. 5 members will be kicked out. See it? More than 7 days. That's when you've not been active, not done anything. 5 members will be kicked out. So ready? Here go another 5. Prune. Because we don't want people just on there abusing the service. Look, as I speak, no one listens. Everyone does it. It's just I don't know why this world works. It's horrible, isn't it? But anyway, it is what it is. I'm learning more and more about people do stuff like this. Anyway, in our training videos, we got a series. Series 1, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. We're on part 5 right now, but guess what? We leave all the previous videos, so you can go and watch part 1, part 2, part 3. This is part 5. Part 6 is coming out today. All right, you click on it. It opens it up. You click the pins, takes you to the pins at the top. So you see it says pins. You jump to the top. There's the video. You press play. And here is your training video for this week. But it gets better. Part 5, learning everything that Sensei knows about how to successfully navigate and read charts. And now, on with the video.
Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Invest.
And he goes on to doing his training. He breaks it all down. Look at this. And you can learn everything Sensei knows about charts in the most simplest, concise, easy to understand video course. And all the courses there. Now then, it gets even better. Our final thing. I know you're thinking, how much more can we get to be a member? It's ridiculous. Underneath the video, you will see people ask questions, comments and questions. And if you've got a question, Sensei will answer. This is exclusively for premium members. Everybody who joins for free, you don't see this. You try to access it, you don't see it. You know when you're a member because you are in green. Now then, if you want to talk to me directly, you can't email me, phone me, text me, WhatsApp me, Telegram, God forbid. Everybody wants me to join Telegram. Not interested. The only way you can message me is through here. And if you message me as a premium member, you can send me a friend request. I will accept it and I will be able to help you and engage with you and support you. That's all the things that you get as a member. I've probably forgotten something, but that's enough. So for everyone today who became a member, you can now access all of that stuff. And I promised you it would be read. Oh, look at this, look. Here, look at this. Unusual activity detective. Review the alert. Unusual activity. Okay, security actions. Here we go again. People just want to manipulate. Pause DMs that are not friends. View new members. Yep, there we go. Happens. It's you think people would support you when you're trying to help people, but this is the world we live in. Right. Now, to wrap up this live stream, thank you very much for being with me. I've got Sensei live on the show. So I'm going to bring Sensei in, who's very, very hot because UK is getting a heat wave and they haven't got air conditioning. So I can't even imagine because we're at 40-odd degrees here in the middle of this, Dallas, Dallas, whatever. But we've got air conditioning. Thank God for that. I mean, it's crazy. You die otherwise. So anyway, let me bring Sensei into the show. Guest number 1. And here we go. Sensei, welcome onto the show. Let me just tweak the camera. How are you, mate? Oh, you were muted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Let me. Okay. You sound a little bit distant.
Should be.
No, that sounds fine. Yeah, that sounds fine now. Yep, that's all good now. Let me clear away the alerts. Well, I've got you on as a guest. We don't want the alerts coming over. Thank you very much for calling in today. How are you doing with the heat? A bit hot, right?
It's very hot. I've got my fan. It's about 33, 34, probably hotter in the house at the moment. But I think in Europe it's even worse, 40 degrees. But I guess they've got air conditioning. We don't in the UK. Now
then. Over the last few days, I've been taking some abuse. One of the things that's been said to me is, I'm bold. Look at him, stupid old bold idiot. To the advantage of being bold, mate, I'm a lot cooler because the heat goes out your... Could be you got that really thick hair, which I had, but not this time of the year. I don't want it. You might have to shave that off soon, mate, and be like me.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're thinking, yeah,
long overdue trip to the hairdressers.
I think so, mate. That's what you need. Now, for those of you who just tuned in, we've got lots of new people today. 27,000 people have tuned in to today's show. 27,238. We've still got 600 people after all of that listening for all the membership perks, which is amazing. Thank you so much indeed. Sensei, you take care of our breakfast show every morning. You do all our charts. You have your own show on Sunday. You do our technical analysis. So I do the fundamentals, the interviews with the CEOs. You then do a chart. You also do the newsletter every day for everybody. Tell us a bit about what you're doing with the charts and the newsletter, just to give everybody some extra information about the services that you provide on the show.
Yeah, so there's two things that we've added for the 4-year anniversary. It's always been about what can we provide for the viewers, the members, and what can we do to help the people that come across our channel. And we do things very differently here. It's one of the reasons I joined Martyn. He always had his full portfolio live on the show. That was the first step of, wow, look how transparent this person is. Then I started watching his videos, and he was transparent with his trades, transparent answering everyone's questions, and always cared about the members, giving you guys in YouTube that one-on-one service. And what we've done is basically continued that trend, and that's why I joined the channel, is because Martyn was doing that. I had the same mentality, and we're coming up to we basically just hit our 4-year anniversary, and the couple months prior we thought, what else can we do to help? And we wanted to create our own news source and also provide all our knowledge. I've been learning about charts for probably the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, really in depth probably over the last 5 years, as well as diving into the crypto markets. I've learned charting, which applies to stocks, crypto, forex, anything which has a chart. And over that time of hours and hours a day looking at charts, I've definitely picked up on a few things. And for some people, charts seem a bit scary. They don't understand them. They don't know how it can help them. They think it's a scam, because there's so many scams out there related to training programs, related to get rich quick, and we do the complete opposite here. And what we've created is basically, as an additional perk to people that already have the Discord premium service, was to add these training videos where I come on every single week, without fail, every single week, to put out a new topic that we go over, from the basics of chart analysis to the very complicated things. And once that's done, don't worry, we're not finished with the course. We're going to continue doing videos, whether it's live case studies or live Q&As, anything like that. We're going to continue it. So we've still got a lot to go through with the course. We're taking it from basics. And the great thing I've heard is the ones that know nothing about charts love it. The ones that know something about charts love it. The experts love it as well, because they get different perspectives. We break it down. We don't overcomplicate it. We're not selling you AI bots. We're not telling you this is a get rich quick scheme. We are telling you the basic facts of it, and we're going in such a slow but methodical way about it, and we're not charging hundreds of dollars. You go anywhere else on any other channel, they're selling you bots, they're selling you training programs for hundred thousands, and this was a free additional perk added to the premium Discord. So that's what we're doing every single week as an additional perk, because I've got the knowledge, why not share it with you guys? And I think this is the best way of doing it, especially the fact that you can come in to Discord, and you can ask the questions right after the videos as well, and we interact with each other on the premium Discord, and that's just an additional perk of the premium Discord. So we're so excited to bring that to you guys for the 4-year anniversary. So that's one of the one of the two things that we've brought to you on that 4-year anniversary, and I'm sure Martyn will agree it's going really well, and the members are absolutely loving it.
Yeah, and it is limited as well, guys. During we've been speaking, we were at 201. We're now at 203. Many people have just joined the free, and more people coming in all the time. There's nothing in here. They've got no roles. You won't see anything. No matter how many times I say it, people don't listen, sadly. But here, you can see here we've gone up from 201 to 203. Now, I'm telling you that for a reason, because when we get... When there are so many questions and people messaging us so much that me and Sensei can't do it anymore because there are just so many questions, then we'll stop admitting people, because we want to provide the level of service to those that joined and stay with us. We don't want thousands of people where we just ignore everybody and just don't do anything anymore other than put videos out. We don't want to do that. So this won't last around forever. It might go on for years. It might last 5 minutes. I don't know what the number is when we're too busy. At the moment, I'm able to do it. Sensei, you're able to reply to people. When it gets too much, we don't know when that might be, then we'll stop admitting people. So if you want this level of service, then now is a good time. And I, as all my services, they don't go up in price, and they don't go up with inflation either. So they get cheaper and we add more. Now, it's not only that, is it, Sensei? People have learned how to read the charts, and now they want to apply those charts to the news, how it affects the news. So tell me about your newsletter. How do you put that together?
Yeah, so over the time we've been doing what we've been doing on the channel, bringing the news to you guys, looking at the stocks, the shares, we've come across people on X or even news outlets coming across with fake news, with clickbait titles, and giving you fake news sources. And we want to bring everything in-house and collect that news ourselves. And that's where the newsletter comes in. Every single day, it's something we basically upgraded the previous newsletter, where now we're doing it every single day. We are bringing you the daily morning forecast to go alongside both our morning shows. It's called the Sensei. I can actually bring it up on the screen if you don't mind, Martyn, just to show people
absolutely
what we're
right.
looking at.
Let me go to guest solo. Let me put you up there. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, well, looks like I'm doing my own show now. Thank you, Martyn, for bringing me on full screen. I just want to share with everyone what we do with the newsletter. So you get this basically every morning. You get it in your mailbox. You can download the app. You can get it on your app, and you can also look at it on the web. So it's a bit more than just a normal newsletter. You get obviously the headline of what's going on. You get the one big thing, the one thing that you need to keep an eye on. And for example, today, I think this is yesterday's actually, for today was President Trump's one big beautiful bill. You have the money move of the day, a bit of a financial coaching tip. For example, today, if you're in the UK, you would have seen, you probably wouldn't have known, I was probably one of the first people to bring it to the audience, is the 20K cash ISA. Rachel Reeves seems to be reducing that to 5,000 on her July the 15th speech. So you've got the money move of the day, how you can get ahead for that. And obviously it's not just the UK, we do the US, we do global markets. So you also get the 5 things you need to know, what the Senate vote is about. You get Rachel Reeves's in-depth story, all the top stories. You don't need to look anywhere else. You get all of this in your mailbox in the morning. You don't need to look at any other news source. You've got the 5 things you need to know. Then you get the deeper dives, whether that's a stock that we're looking at and we want to look at it in depth, like we did M-Phase the other day, whether it's a cryptocurrency like XRP, or whether it's a big story like this today, Bloomberg ETF approval forecast, analyst confidence, SEC outlook, and what this means for the altcoin season. Whether you're a crypto investor or stock investor, we always have different stories every single day, and it might interest you. Today's one is about the 95% chance of some of these crypto ETFs coming by the end of the year, and how confident the market seems to be on these, and how they're undervaluing it, what you need to do, what the real news is. Because again, when it comes to crypto on X, people are just selling fake news stories. We build our own tables. Here you can see I've gone through every single token, their odds of approval, when their final deadline is. So you get so much information to get ahead of the trade before the mainstream media knows about it. You get the on the radar, what's happening every day. For example, today you could have seen that the Fed Jerome Powell was talking. You could have taken your trades before, and you had the ECB data. Tomorrow you can see what's going on, all that sort of stuff. And at the end of the newsletter, you've got the chart of the day. What chart I'm looking at on the day, obviously today was Robinhood, based on what they're doing. A lot of people have been asking me what my targets are. You get the full chart. And the trend and the support, resistance, how I'm looking at it, and I think Martyn has a 7-day free trial link that he'll post in the live chat, if you don't mind, Martyn. So basically, that's what you get. You get that every single morning.
I did it ahead of schedule. Don't you worry about that, mate. It's already there.
Thank you, Martyn.
Pinned to the top.
I love it. It's pinned to the top. So there we go. And also, it's basically, you get that every single day. 3 hours of research. It takes me about 3.5 hours to do every single morning, and I will do that without fail.
Breaking news, Sensei. Just sorry to cut in there. There it is, my best tip of the year. This was the stock that was, in my opinion, has one of the best balance sheets on the stock market. Sensei has also provided information in the newsletter. He's also done charts for this. Join him on Sunday. Join him every breakfast show, and he will update you. If you want, I remember, he will do a chart for you. So you want to talk to Sensei about this. I brought this to you, telling you that this is one of the best balance sheets on the stock market. It's completely crushing the competition. It's just surged 5%. It's massively undervalued right now. This is $100 to $200 stock. And I was right again. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that one because that's a really big story. Back to you, Sensei. Oh, you're muted, mate.
I apologize. We did a whole deep dive on end phase, gave you all the reason we brought it is because Martyn looked at the fundamentals. I looked at it on my morning show and it hit a technical level. Martyn looked at the fundamentals and then we put it in the newsletter. That's
and
just
I've
an
covered
example
all the earnings as well. I've actually covered these earnings live.
Yeah.
I know what this company is and I've done analysis on the fundamentals. This was a great opportunity. So yeah, back to you, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we look at these stocks, cryptos. Martyn has covered basically all of Enphase's earnings call, along with a lot of other different stocks. And because we've been doing this for 4 years, we know which ones to look at. We look at the charts and then we bring you the in-depth analysis. And the newsletter is just something to help you guys even more. So you get those charts of the day, you get the 5 things you need to know, you get the deeper dives, whether it's on a crypto that we're looking at, whether it's on a meeting with a CEO that comes out on the deeper dive section. And then you get to also obviously talk to us as our own community on the newsletter. So you get a lot, and it's about 33 cents a day. You got a 7-day free trial. You can also sign up as a free member, but obviously the annual plan is where you get everything. So do consider signing up for that. And they both are things that we brought out alongside the 4-year anniversary. And speaking about the 4-year anniversary, you've got the 4-year anniversary mug. The first time Martyn's face is on a mug, the first time my face is on a mug, and the second time Vaz's face is on a mug, all celebrating 4 years. Grab a piece of the show. That's on the merch store. And the reason we have all of the merch store is because unlike other channels which bring in outside sponsors and tell you to sign up for this AI trading bot which makes you lose money, or sign up for leverage trading with KuCoin, which basically 95% of traders lose money. We're doing it all in-house and you guys are supporting us, and by having our own merch store and keeping all our sponsorships in-house with the members, we get to bring you these live shows, and it supports obviously me and Martyn, who are full-time now. I'm full-time on the channel as well. So that's the merch store. Thank you, Martyn, for letting me explain all of that.
Absolutely right. Thank you, Sensei, for explaining it. Yeah, I mean, that's an important point, because if you're following a financial channel, I mean, we are entertainment, but we are financial channel, but we are more community. We're about supporting each other and giving people a place to go where they get their voice heard. They can call into the show. We have live phone-ins. I forgot to mention that. That's another perk you get as a member. You can have a live phone-in and you can call into the show anytime you want. Forgot to mention that. But yeah, so because we want to be able to live, this is our jobs. Sensei and me are both full-time on this. We either take sponsorship from people who want to, tell us to say stuff and give us money to do it, or we got to generate our own income. Well, Sensei is very successful trading. I'm successful investing, and we have our own merchandise and our own news sources, and that's how we survive and bring you these live shows. So Sensei, thank you very much for calling in today. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to wrap up the show. I'll be back for the closing bell. So I'm live every morning at the same time. I'm always back at the same time for the closing bell. Go on the homepage of the channel. You will see our events live there. I just love the way I know what you're feeling like, mate. I know what you're feeling like. You've got no air conditioning there. It's terrible. They say the world's not warming up. Yeah, try and tell that to Sensei. Try and tell that to me. It's 40 degrees here, flipping Dallas. It's hotter than it is for you, but I've got air conditioning, so I don't know it until I go outside. Then I flipping really know it. You think it's hot there? You go outside here, mate, your face rips off. It's terrifying, really. But anyway, it doesn't literally rip off. No, it hurts. If you stand there for a few minutes. Anyway, thank you for calling in. Sensei, you'll be live tomorrow morning, same time, same place, every trading day. You go live, you do the breakfast show, and you prepare for the upcoming day, and you accompany with the newsletter. So I'm going to wrap this up, send everyone now to the extra channel. I'll tell everybody about that in a minute. But Sensei, give me your final thoughts before I let you go. Final
thoughts are, we always... the community, the members, whether you disagree with us in a polite manner, and all I mean by that is not threaten us. If you disagree with us,
or
nice
you like us, that doesn't happen, innit? Yeah.
If you're a subscriber, if you're a member, if you support us, we want to bring you the best possible information. You give us your time, the most valuable asset, and we want to give you back as much as we can. And we're not like the other channels. There's so much fake news out there, and sometimes because we want to give the truth, we get backlash, but we won't stop giving you our real thoughts, our real opinions. And if you disagree, that's fine. But we will never be sold out. We will never sell our voice, and we are here to serve you.
Isn't it lovely today, mate? Because we both took a lot of attacks for the Zebic situation, and it lovely to have such an amazing show. 28,692. I've lost count of how many people have become members. I think we've gained about 500 subscribers during the show. So the ones that we lost because didn't like my story on Zebic, we've come back and nearly doubled it. This is nice. It makes us feel good when you see this. So thank you for everything that you do, Sensei. I'll look forward to your opening bell, your newsletter and breakfast show tomorrow.
Thank you, Martyn.
Cheers. There's Sensei. He's going to get back to work, getting ready for his show tomorrow, and of course his newsletter. I'm now going to wrap this up. I'm happy to have bought today. I bought a bit more, but that's enough for me now. Now, if I'm going to use more margin, it's got to go down much bigger. But I am bullish. There's a bit of left in the year, maybe 5%, but paying 4% to earn 4% isn't a point, but if you can pay it off in a month or two, that's okay. So I bought a bit of margin because I can pay that off pretty quickly. But anymore, it's got to go down a lot more. But and we could have that. We could have that surprise shot with Trump, the tariffs and the carry trade and everything else. But we had a good bullish signal today from Jerome Powell saying he's basically going to cut the rates twice this year. That's basically what he said. So that's good because we priced that in. That's one thing that could have corrected. Now we're not. We're going to get that. He basically said it. So that's good. I'm surprised the market hasn't reacted that much to it, but it wasn't the sort of meeting that a lot of people pay attention to. The FOMC report, everyone's watching. This one, that's why I covered it. It wasn't one that gets that much attention. Anyway, going to wrap up the show. So you've got the newsletter in the chat, pinned to the top. I'll give you the shop link once again. There is the shop link that Sensei was just talking about if you want that. I shall give you the training course if you want that. Remember, you have to click on the purchase, not the free. You get the training course for free, but Discord is $2.99 to get that. Whoops, let me just click that on there. There it is there. If you want to follow me on X and Instagram, there is your information. If you want to become a member, there it is. Oh, by the way, just before I go, if you want free shares with Robinhood, we're doing a giveaway of shares at the moment. There's Robinhood USA and there's Robinhood UK. If you click on my link, you can get free shares of Robinhood and I get them too. So I'll share with you what I get on the screen. That's quite nice. But we're now going to go over to the extra channel. Now, what is the extra channel? We have an extra channel that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never ends, other than when I've got to reboot my computer. So this will be today's show, what you missed. So if you missed things, you might go, well, why do I need that? I can just watch the live stream again, right? Yeah, you can. However, if you watch the live stream from this morning, it's during the live show and you've got live chat, so you can talk to the audience in the restream. It tells you it's a restream, so there's not like, hang on a minute, you're trying to sell new videos. No, we tell you it's a restream from today's show. And this camera angle here is me live now talking to you. So I'm in the chat when I'm working, doing things. I can see the chat, answer your questions, provide live support. It's a free channel to watch, right? But if you want to chat, it's locked down for members only, which is 99 cents. It's a separate channel. No, we can't make it any cheaper. YouTube won't let me sell it for 1 cent. If they would, I would do it. It's 99 cents, but it stops bots, trolls, scammers coming in. So the conversation is you talking to me, other members, and that's wonderful. And this is 24 hours a day in case you miss it. Also, we have members who join at different times because of the different time zones. So that's why we do that. So let me put that in the chat and give you the link to that now. Here we go. So let me do this now. Let me just write this in. Live now, whoops, on Extra. And I'll see you back later on for the closing bell. That'll be announced, of course, on our homepage and all our social media. Live now on Extra. Let me pin that to the top. That's where we're going now. I've already made it sure it does that. So it'll automatically take you there, or you can click on the link and jump across there as well. So I'll see you back in a bit. Thank you ever so much today. Let me see if we've got any comments and questions of anything you wanted shared. Ruth became a member. Thank you. Why is everything red? Why is everything red? Well, the markets haven't digested the good news yet. There's uncertainty. There's lots of reasons, but overall, are we red? Are we Eckers like? Look, that's my all-time. I'm up. I've got more shares than ever. I've got $250,000 invested. So stay invested. Stay invested. Don't buy the dips. Buy the undervalue. All right, for your main position, if you want to trim it out a little bit more, like I did today, because overvalued now, the S&P is expensive, but I see it going higher, so I bought some more. But 99% of my portfolio is undervalued. That's the key. That's why I'm green all time. Doesn't matter what we're doing today, does it really? End phase going well, indeed it is. Today is my birthday. Bonds. One of our members is his birthday. Would everybody copy and paste in the chat, happy birthday. Bonds, here is your birthday party. Every Friday, we do a live concert, and those who have a birthday during the week, we celebrate it, and you can download the video as you are a member. So you'll be able to keep a happy birthday video. This is the event, Bonds, for you on Friday at 4 p.m. Central. Let me give you the link. Yes, we don't kick out premium members. Of course not. Someone just said, Sensei's going, we don't kick out. Well, of course we don't. We don't kick out premium members because you are a subscriber. We kick out the ones that have joined for free who are not premium members because they're just clogging up the system. That's what I'm talking about. Right, so Bonds, that's for you on Friday. Hopefully you'll join us. Bring your family. We'll celebrate your birthday. We'll give you a birthday party. And, oh, thank you, Leah. Thank you. And as my coffee just arrived, and we'll celebrate your birthday. End phase is pumped. I bought that dip. Congratulations. Back to being 20% on end phase again. Wonderful, Tommy Tinkler. Great. How do I make sure that I'm a member? Because you've got a badge and you've got no badge. Saudi Fighter, you are not a member of YouTube. All right, because you do not have a badge in the chat. If you were a member, you would have a badge. Here is the link, so you can't get any of the members' perks. There is the link. If you are on an iOS device, select a browser, desktop version. Just joined. Who is the guy you are interviewing? You just joined. Who am I interviewing? That was Sensei, who does our technical charts, our newsletter, our breakfast show every day. Just a rotation, day out of tech. That's all. Investors taking profits and moving money into other sectors for now. If it's face ripping hot in the UK. If I become a member in Discord, does it mean I'm a member on the channel too? No. Discord is Discord. YouTube is YouTube. They're not mutually connected in any way. They are separate. You can do both. You can do one. You can do neither. You are in full control of all your memberships. Good morning, sir. Good morning to you. To all mates here. We're at 16 grand Bitcoin or below. You are a legend. To all mates that were here at 16,000 or below, you are a legend. Okay, great. I don't really get that comment. So I have paid for the Discord and it hasn't been a month yet. I think you kicked me out by mistake. No, I haven't. I haven't kicked you out by mistake. If you are a subscriber, a paid subscriber, I don't kick you out. It only kicks people out without roles. So, Kelvin, I guarantee you, I have not kicked you out. If you just click on the link as a subscriber, you'll be back in again. But I'd only kick out non-subscribers. All right, never kick you out. You obviously haven't renewed it or you cancelled it. That's the only reason why. And if you give me your Discord username live right now, I'll check it for you and make sure that you are added in. But I can assure you I have not kicked you out. All right? It's hard to be active every day, but I keep up with it. Kelvin, no, we don't kick out premium. I know you guys don't. That's why I'm saying that it was a mistake. Just give me your Discord username, Kelvin, and I shall go and check it now. But I pay for the YouTube. YouTube is a YouTube membership. It's got nothing to do with Discord. Discord is Discord. If you are paying for Discord, it would work. If you haven't and you've cancelled it and whatever, then you won't have a role, then you'll be out. But if you just give me a username, I'll check it right now. Everyone look at NAK. I have the screenshot to prove it. Okay, Calvin, just give me your Discord username and I'll fix it right now. Happy birthday, Ronin. Happy birthday. On Friday, we'll celebrate for you, Calvin. Join Discord and open a ticket. That's right. Going to look at the Discord videos in a bit. Currently observing BNR. I have a job. You have a job. I'm glad you have a job. You have a job. I was thinking, why are you telling us I've got a job? You didn't have a job, right? You lost your job and now you've got a job. You need to say the whole sentence, Alex. I've got 86,000 subscribers. I forget a few things. I remember now, fortunately, you had a job, lost it. You should say, I lost my job last week and now I've got a new one. That would have been great. Thank you, Sensei, but congratulations in your job. Martyn, we went through this last time and you said you didn't know what happened. Okay, I just became a member and late to get to the perks. No, you're not late. You'll get all the perks. Right. Groovy City Rocker. Okay, I will check it right now. This happened before. Okay, it might be because you just don't renew it and then it keeps getting cancelled. I don't know. Let me have a look. Groovy City Rocker. Let's have a look. Members. Oh, there you go. Now I can see. This is why you got kicked out. There you go. Groovy City Rocker. This is you. You're not a member. You see, you've got no role. You've got no role. See? You're not a Discord subscriber. All right. So that's why. So I won't. There you are. You need to come in as a subscriber. You've obviously, there you are. You are in. You've not been kicked out yet because you are still in, but you haven't paid to be a premium member. So you've got no role. You won't see anything. Nothing happens. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. Right? But there you are. You need to click this button here to become a Discord subscriber. All right? Let me show you how you do that down here. You need to click this button here and you need to have it set for auto renew because if you've done it before and then you've cancelled it, that's what's happened. Some people have done this. Not saying you've done it, but some people have joined thinking I can get all the training videos for free because, which you can, all premium members can, but they come in and then they cancel their membership and then they wonder why they get kicked out. This is another reason why we remove people, because if we didn't remove you, if we remove you, you don't have if you're not a premium member, you don't see it anyway, but people think they try to message people and get in private chats and then all sorts of schemes go on. But anyway, that's why if you were a premium member, you would be in green and you'd have a role. You're not in green and you don't have a role. All right. So that's the reason for it. Okay. So now we know the reason. So you might get kicked out at some point because you don't have a role. It does it every 7 days, as you just saw me do it a minute ago. Congratulations, Alex. I'm loving it. We like keeping it cryptic. What time do you want me to run the Joby news tonight? Just so I can get ready. Straight after the closing bell. So it'll be 10 past, for you, it'll be 10 past 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 past. Yeah, it'll be 10 past 9 your time. Hey up, banana heads. Vaz after closing bell, I assume. Yes, absolutely right. Okay, so I'm going to set that event up during my closing bell. In fact, I'll set it up in a minute when I get off air. Okay, that's it. I've gone through all the comments, gone through all the questions. We're going to go to extra now. We're going to end the poll that Sensei somehow sneaked in. What service do you like and want the most? Live videos. That makes me happy. What you want more than anything else is the live videos, more than newsletters. Sorry, Sensei. More than chart training programs. They just want a community. People just want to be part of a community and have that human. I love that. That's just the best thing in the world to hear. So I'm really, really, really happy and proud of that. All right, that's it, guys. I'm done. I'm out of here. Wasn't following the morning show too much. You wasn't? Okay. Thanks for letting me know that you don't watch the show, Vaz. Why would you share that? I have no idea. What's the purpose of that comment? Wasn't following the show today. That's like Alex Hunt a minute ago. Alex Hunt came in and went, I got a job. Right? What's that mean? I've forgotten that you lost your job and then you bought. I don't flipping heck. I don't. Got to remind me of these things. Anyway, that's it, folks. We're out of here. Let's do our day trader of the day competition, and let's also do our what do you call it? What's it called? Day trader of the day and stars of the show. Can't even bloody remember, can I? Let me turn all this back on again. By the way, folks, look at this. Look at this. You may remember lots of people were upset yesterday because I said I was concerned with Zebic. And I got lots of hate mail and everything for it. And they all subscribed, got together, sent threatening letters, horrible stuff. But then look what happened. 51,000 views. Everyone's come back and in double. Look at the subscribers. Look at that. Nearly 87,000. I can't thank you enough. That means so much to me and Sensei and Vaz. Took a lot of abuse yesterday for telling you the truth. People didn't like it. And now everyone's coming back. But please don't buy the pump on Zebic. I would imagine it would, well, I know what's going to happen. It's going to pump and then everyone's going to take profit and dump it again. It'll go even lower. So I'm not happy with the company. I don't want anything to do with it. And I'm going to tell you that. So I'm not going to make it up just to keep subscribers. But thank you so much for all coming back and growing. And it's been amazing. Right. Okay. So let's do day trader of the day. I'm down 0.29. Down 0.29% today. There you go. Down 0.29. Let's see who wins our day trader of the day today. Shadooby, shadooby dooby, time to go again. It's time to say goodbye on the show today. And let's see who the stars of the show are today. Shadooby, shadooby, shadooby doo woo. All right. Shadoo dooby doo boo. Shadoo dooby doo woo. New subscribers: Abel, Hers, Carl, Nigel, Kid, Coy, What the Interest, John, Maznik, Shah. New subscribers: look at this: Kevin, Michael, Buggy, A, Bit, Nikesh, Kevin, Slow, Abram, Yanto, Donetta, Dean, Pedro, Kaderki, Hawk, Kalimba, Liam, Jared, Josh, Koza, Crypto, Butler, Aminda, I Am, Day8, Darsham, Taffa, Ned, FX, Dimas, Abbas, Lamar, Khaled, John, Ernest, Code, Asbat, Stephen, Philippe, Yassine, Danielle, Hakan, Frederick, Bitcoins, AL, Cork, Russell, Omar, Pavello, Jondry, NB, LG, Simon, Dino, Nis, Nancy, Lynn, Ferg, Need, Neo, Vibers, Deuce, Fernando, Jeff, Bringer, FD, Andre, Ryan, AO, Carol, Salt of the Earth. I'm loving it. Daniels, PD, Vincent, Cedric, and Anatolia, I apologise. Mr. Dave, Shakan, Ricardo, Mark, Matthew, Rhyme, Hal, Dr. Bernard, Dan, Beauty Shia, Jeff, Chris Peterson, new members, Ronan, Pixel, Jess, Daniel, Bertram, Khalid, Doyce, Kezia, Tracy, Toba, RJ, Bonds, Jazz, T. Owen, and Rue Sampson, Super Chat, some Crow, Applied Pressure, and Brian. Thank you so much indeed for all of the stars of the show today. So, who wins? Are you up? Are you down? Ticket number 0124. Ticket number 0124. Yeah, groovy. How can I pay? I'm trying to pay. You just click on the link. I can't do much for you. There is the link. Become a Discord premium member. Click purchase. Click purchase, not join. There we go. I've just replied to you, Kelvin Romero, in your ticket. Congratulations. Hello. How was that a long list? Wow, that was a long list. Yes, wow. Up 3.85. Wow, look at the merch pictures. What? People sending in pictures on Discord. Oh my God, really? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. The merch pictures. Holy moly. Wow, look at the merch pictures. Look at this, folks. We got some merch pictures. There we go. There's Kimberly. Look at that. Kimberly got a mug. She's received her mug. Lovely stuff. There is Vaz. Vaz has got his Happy Christmas mug. Flipping, that took a while. Bloody hell. Look at this. My collection. Dallo. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Martyn Lucas Investor. He's got us on the show. Look at his desk. I love it. He's got his laptop set up. Look. I'm loving it. There you go. He's got the XRP mug. He's got Vaz's trip to Paris. He's got ZBCN. He's got celebrating 4 years. Look at that. That flipping heck. Celebrating 4 years. That was 2 days ago. That was 4 days. That was 2 days ago. How on earth did you get the mug that quick? Flipping heck. That's quick, isn't it? Sensei Crypto. Look at that. Don't you just love it? Oh, wow. Look at that. Thank you so much indeed for that. Isn't that lovely? I can't believe it. That's amazing. Kimberly's left me a message. Let me just read it. Okay. I will reply to that in a moment. Okay, Kimberly. That's it. That's it. We're out of here. Good luck to every great collection. Yeah, I mean, brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, I think Zach Zeit has the biggest collection. He's got like about 20. I mean, he's got everyone in the set. Everyone. Hiya, mate. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning to you. I've got to go, folks. We're out of here now. That's it from me. What a wonderful day. I'm going to leave you with my final thought today, because this has been a very emotional day. I've learned a lot over the last 24 hours. I don't know really what I do with that information, though. Yeah, I haven't processed it. Over the last 24 hours, you saw me go from really excited to make videos and music videos and get behind and partner with Zebek. So excited. And then I spoke to them, and things weren't the standard that we want on this show. Things were hidden off camera. Couldn't say this, couldn't say that. Didn't want the event to be online. Wanted, because people would see it. Wanted to be in person in Cannes. They wanted to pay me to go there, which was lovely. But I didn't want to go to Cannes at any money. I didn't want any money anyway. I just wanted to cover the event, and they didn't want it to be online. So there were things about it which weren't good. So I decided to say, look, I'm not happy with this. And then flipping heck, did the gates of hell open up on X. People went against me. They were threatening. A lot of the comments I've not been able to share because they are so bad, and I've hidden them. And it was horrible. Now, what have I learned from that? Do I not tell the truth anymore? Just say everything's great? Let people, if something's great, they all join in and get excited. And when I learn something bad about it, just leave it and fizzle out, say nothing. Well, that would be easy. I could just say nothing, let it fizzle out, say nothing, and they would all still be my friend. They would all still follow me. They would all think I'm great, and they wouldn't be horrible. Maybe I should do that, because what's the point of getting grief on yourself? What's the point of living under threats? Doesn't matter, does it? Just don't say anything else. Just say nothing. Well, I decided to share what I've just shared with you in posts and videos, and everybody went mental. Like mental. Obviously, people put their life savings into something. They want someone to promote it. They love that person while they're promoting it for them. And then when they say something against it, they get upset. I can understand it. But if you put your whole life savings on something, I'm basically protecting you as well. But they don't see it that way. They saw it as I was going against them. So people got violent and threatening and scary and horrible. So what do? Not talk about things when they go wrong? I don't know. I don't know what to do. As I said before, Zebic is pumped up. Now it's selling straight back off again. The cans event is happening. Everybody is buying it and they're dumping it as fast as they bought it. I'm looking at the chart now. So it doesn't seem to me people want you to protect them. They just want you to tell them it's great. And when it's not, best say nothing. Let them get on with it. Well, I decided to come out and say it's not good. Well, my core members, core investors, they were okay with it. They supported me because they want the truth. The ones that just put all their money in something and of quite potentially no value get angry, not at me. They are taking it out on me, but it's because they don't really know what they own. And now it's going down and they don't like it. And it's, who do you blame? Don't blame me. Blame yourself. But they don't. They blame me. What they should have been doing is thanking me because they were able to sell out at a profit, buy back the dip, but they didn't buy until today at the event, and now everyone's dumping it again. So I don't know. What have I learned? I don't really know. Don't say anything. Say something. I don't know. Why do I want grief on myself? Why do I want to go into a world where everyone's shouting and swearing and cussing and cursing? And why do I want that? I don't know. What's the point? There isn't any point. But the thing is, I have always believed in doing what's right, and doing what's right is difficult sometimes. It is. But it goes a bit too far though when people threaten violence. Then it goes too far, and it's not right. But that's their weakness, not mine. If people feel that way, it's because they are insecure with who they are. They are insecure with their investment, not me. So they're taking it out on me, but it's because of them. I don't feel bad or get angry because the S&P goes up or down, or Trump crashes the market. I see it as an opportunity, or someone pumps the market. I see that as an opportunity to sell it. You know, I don't see any of these things as a chance to get angry with somebody else, be violent, be threatening. I don't, but some people do. And I got to be honest, and maybe it's wrong, but I've always lived like this. I try to make my life simple, a simplistic world. I don't worry about money. I care more about people. And a lot of people don't have that luxury. They do care about money. They worry about money. But that's not because I'm rich. I left home at 16 with no money. I just worked hard, and I lost everything. I lost my home and business. I lost my parents, my kids. I've lost loads of stuff. Nothing was given to me. No one gave me any money. I refuse free money every day. I've done it the hardest way possible. I don't follow people to get followers. I do everything the hardest way to do it right. So it's not like I've had it easy, but I just never worried about money because I focus on value above money. I've always believed, and I'm not religious. It's not like I'm religious or anything, but I just believe that if you do a good thing, good things happen. And today is another example of a good thing happened. 24 hours of the worst possible abuse online, on X particularly. And now we've had a record-breaking day. One of our biggest streams ever. I think it's like the third best stream of all time. Everyone's becoming a member. It's just amazing. So if you do good things come. And you've got to keep doing it. So was I right to comment? Was I right to get excited to do Zebic? No, I wasn't wrong there. It was the right thing to do because it looked great. And remember, Zebic came to me, as do all the CEOs. They came to me. We're a fan of the show. We love what you're doing. We want you to come to Cannes. I said, no, I'd rather do it online. I can reach the world. We can do this and the other. I didn't want to be flown to Cannes, right? I think what was most difficult was no matter what, and this is where it's like, what do I learn from this? You can't fix the problem. If you get into a situation like this, you can't fix it because people would say stuff incorrectly online and I would answer it or make a video on it or do it like now and they would still repeat the same thing. People kept saying he's just trying to dump it to buy back more. And I kept showing people my portfolio, as you know, I don't own it. Now, some people would just keep repeating that same phrase, even though I've just told you that's not what I did. So like, you're not even listening. Some people were upset about the price action. So I said, Sensei is going live with a technical chart. I did that on X. Not even 1% of the people that were watching on X in my live stream that I did came to watch Sensei's show where he showed you the chart. So it's like you didn't even help yourself. People would say things. I would prove that wasn't the case. They still repeated it. I just thought, I can't even get out of this. I can't even fix it. Because it seems to me, and this is, I think, the key lesson is, when you're attacked in anything in life, it's because of people's weaknesses, not your own. It's because no one trusts anybody. And people were saying things like, he's in it for himself, he's trying to pump it, he's doing this, he wasn't happy with the money they were going to pay him, he didn't get the deal he wanted, he had his ego bashed. None of those things were true. I don't need an ego from Zebic. It's a very small business. I've performed in the best theatres all over the world as the World Piano Man. I've had my own Vegas show. I've had the British Philharmonic Orchestra. I've done the biggest gigs in the world, right? I don't need to do an event in Cannes for a bunch of crypto enthusiasts to make me feel good. But of course, for those people, it's the biggest thing in the world. And they think, oh, he's a nobody, he's a flipping idiot. Well, I was just trying to help. And then it was, his songs are stupid. I hate his songs. They're rubbish. They're cheesy. They're rubbish. The same people that loved them when I put them out, who watched them and shared them because everyone got excited about Zebic going up to $1. Then they hate the music. Then they thought the music was rubbish. So if you do anything in life, if you stand up and say something and you get involved with something that's so volatile and so kind of like speculative, not worth anything, people gamble, you draw the wrong people in. For them, it's life and death, their money they're gambling with. Then when it goes wrong, they blame you because of their insecurity, their lack of knowledge. It draws the wrong people. So what do? Not get excited about a crypto coin again? Maybe. Just talk about businesses that no one really gets emotionally involved with. Just the S&P 500, the rate cuts, the government. I don't know, just normal stuff. Look at it. Look. I told you this was going to happen. Look, it pumped up and now everyone's dumping it even faster than before. Straight up, all the way up during the event and now everyone's taking the money. Now, that's not me doing that. That's them doing that. They didn't buy the dip. They waited for it to rally. They got FOMO'd in. They started to buy it. The moment you made any money, they sold it. These are the same people that will tell me later on it's the best thing in the world. It's going to change the world. Well, I thought it was. Until I found out the way the management and everybody works. And I thought, won't come on camera, you're all hidden. We can't do it publicly. We got to hide it. I'm not interested in that. I don't need that. So what have I learned? Well, if I'm going to be online and I'm going to be telling the truth and people are going to get excited and they don't have the intelligence or the understanding, they're going to get overly excited, which means they'll get overly angry when it goes the other way. Do I pretend and not say I now know what's going on? I could have just left it and I'd have ended up not losing followers, not losing subscribers. But unlike what they say on X, oh, he's just doing it for clicks and now we're going to do this. I don't do it for clicks. I couldn't care less, because everyone who followed me on X because of Zebic, who then unfollowed me because of Zebic, you weren't worth anything anyway, as it turned out, because my real viewers, my real investors, my real members are here always, through the ups and the downs. They don't desert me or turn on me or threaten violence because their asset goes down. You're the one who bought it. You're the one who sold it. I didn't sell a thing. I'm not Roaring Kitty pumping it up to dump it. When it went down because you sold it, not me. And in fact, look, it went down. If you blame me for it going down, it went up today because of the event that I have nothing to do with. I'm not there. And the moment it went up, you dumped it. You're doing it to yourself over and over again, but you can't take responsibility for that. You've got to blame me. So what do I do? Karen telling the truth, get abused for it? Yeah. Because if you unfollow me, it doesn't make any difference. Do you realize on X, the 300 people or whatever it was who unfollowed me and the 300 people that unfollowed me on YouTube, what does it mean when you unfollow someone? Nothing. Nothing. What only thing that counts is the real engagement, the human engagement. If you're watching me live and I'm earning ad revenue, 1 cent per person every ad. So in the video, I've earned 3 cents, not from you, from people from successful businesses, not you. You just happen to watch the ad. So it doesn't cost you anything to watch. That's what I earn. I earn money from members when they become members. But if you watch me on X and abuse me and then unfollow me, I don't earn anything. I only go on X to promote my YouTube show, not to get you to follow me on X. It doesn't do anything. I don't earn any money. I'm not monetized on X. I basically earned nothing to get abused for 2 days when I spent a week making the songs and investing in it and producing the videos to promote the thing because I thought it was great. The company then came to me because they thought it was great, but they wanted to do things I didn't think was good, so I said not interested. But everybody will say the opposite. They don't even know. They weren't even in the call. They don't know anything about it. But they'll say, he's pumping it for himself. He's dumping it for himself. He's only doing it for clicks. He didn't get the money he wanted. He got his ego bruised. So there we go. What have I learned? Honestly, I don't know. I've just learned more that people can be bloody horrible. Am I going to change? No. Am I still going to do the right thing? Yes. Am I going to do it my way like Frank Sinatra said? Yes. Am I going to be true and honest? Yes. Am I going to do what's best for the people that invest, my viewers? Yes. Can you buy my voice? No. Can you bribe me to say anything? No. Can you sponsor me to say anything? No. Can you threaten me? No. You can't. You can say whatever you like. Does it hurt me? Yes. Is it horrible and scary? Yes. It is. But that's not me. That's you. And if it makes you proud to know that your comments was hurtful and scary, if that makes you proud, be proud of that. It makes me sad and it makes me disappointed. But on days like today, I'm reminded once again that 98% of my live viewers are members. 99.9999% of you are decent people who want to be part of a family, a community, because you enjoy the conversation, you enjoy talking to people, you enjoy the service we provide, you can see it's real and genuine, it's here for your benefit. And I'm reminded by that today. It's a shame that the few idiots spoil the the millions of great things. But it is the way it works, I'm afraid. But now today I'm back up again. All the people that left me on X and all the people that left me on disc of YouTube have been replaced by much better people, double the amount. And as we sit here and talk, exactly what I said would happen, again, is happening. They pumped it when the cans event started, and now they're all taking their profit and dumping it on each other. And don't be surprised if Zebit goes to zero. It's the way the whole thing is set up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting me. And I'll continue to do what you joined me to do. The news, entertaining, real, passionate, the journey, the human story. That's why you're here. Now join me on the extra channel. The link's at the top. It'll automatically take you there. I will see you back for the closing bell. Take strength from this. If you do anything in life and people attack you, it's not you. It's their weakness. It's them who are attacking you. If you deliver the best of yourself and you're true to yourself, you will be a man. You will be the best of you. You can't control what everybody else does. It's flipping impossible. But you can hide under a rock if you want, and you won't ever live. It's better to have lived and loved, lived and lost, and never lived at all. It's the same thing. Live the best life, do what's right, and the rest of it is just a load of nonsense. Join me on Extra. I'll see you back this afternoon. Thanks for all your support. Love you all. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.